Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Wingspan here for them, but here's Hudson.
12 points already for Mitchell. Brunson searching for an opening. Gets inside, kicks it out in the corner. Landry's shot, and he's been red hot, and that continues. Brunson finds Bridges. Bridges with 5 on 24. Looking double team. Shot clock winding down. Bridges falling away. Is up. That's good. Mikal Bridges.
Swinging a drive here by Masataka deep into the corner. That ball is high here. For the first time this year, Masa will touch them all. High drive, deep left field. Churio back, running out of room. Goodbye. Triple homer, back-to-back pitches. He said he had the feeling that they were about to punch through, and they do. 11th of the year for Tajes, and it's 5-1.
Vajunas gathers at the belt. The first pitch to Sandy. Swings and rips one past the first baseman down the line. Extra bases. Worthley burning around third. He's windmill and carry around third. Sanderson headed for third. It's a 2-run triple for Case Sanderson. And Nebraska with a monster swing here early. It's 2-0 Cornhuskers.
Runner at first, 2 outs. Jordy Fromm with a 1-2. Godwin swings, and they appeal to first. They rule. She went around. Strike 3, and Nebraska is going to the Women's College World Series in 2026.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Mail Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. What's up, DB?
Oh, we're doing
all right. How you doing?
what? Good.
Didn't know we were doing a musical this morning.
I don't even know why I did that. I mean, to be honest,
I don't even recognize what we're doing.
Oh, my buddy threw me for a loop. I think he just got to the hospital. My man, Aaron, they're expecting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's got 2 princesses, and he's got a little shorty, a little dude on the way.
Congrats.
Yeah, I'll be.
If that's what you're into, having kids. I mean, like, good on you, I guess. If that's.
I probably won't get lunch this week.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he'll be busy.
Yeah, he's got
some in-laws in town too.
Ooh, I mean, if you got in-laws in town, he's got plenty of time to take you to lunch.
We got a dinner tonight though, so maybe that'll be my one good meal for the week.
Yeah, what's your dinner tonight?
The Playfly crew has dinner.
Oh,
Les won the auction.
There you go.
What are the odds?
I mean, he's kind of papered up. I'd say pretty good.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like. He basically was like, hey, university, keep the money. Dinner's on me.
Oh, well, see, there you go.
It's like, oh, well, go ahead. You pick your spot. Where do you want to go?
Is he going where I would think he's going?
I think you'd probably know his spot. Yes.
Is it the one place I went out to?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that
makes sense. He that seems to be like his go-to.
And they take really good care of him.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of calls the shots.
I'll be honest. When he was out there, I thought he was a partial owner.
He's like the mayor.
I know. I was like, you run this place, man?
I had picked up some beef from him. Went to give him a hug, and he's like, can't move.
Yeah.
He had some surgery.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Had some things removed. I was like, oh. But guess where I met him?
Where?
At the gym.
I was gonna say I thought he maybe was a little sore because from all the CrossFit he's been doing.
He was at CrossFit. Yeah. I was like,
"You supposed to do this close after surgery, bud?"
So that and playing against an 80-year-old guy in 50 and over baseball.
You were playing against an 80-year-old?
Yeah.
How was he?
Here's the funny thing.
Yeah.
When I got beamed on the kneecap.
Yeah.
That's who brought me the ice.
He was ready. He's like, I know.
Yeah. All I could think to myself was, you better not have one goddamn excuse not to get out of bed ever. Get your ass out of bed and get a workout in.
My man's 80 and he's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, man. Suited and booted.
Wait, so was he pitching?
No. He's kind of more the manager. I was watching him warm up.
Yeah.
It's like, what would I be doing in 30 years?
You can still move around a little bit.
Good chance it won't be that. Yeah. it's a pretty good chance. I don't know, man. I'm not baseballed out because I love the sport, but
You had a lot of baseball this weekend.
Yeah,
because you got, I mean, no pun intended, you got called in from the bullpen on Saturday.
Oh yeah, all 12-hour notice.
Yeah,
I told our producer, I go, what are the odds you could find somebody that's familiar with you guys, television experience, that follows high school baseball, that's kind of a loser and has nothing to do.
What happened?
And he was like, yeah, all except for the loser part. No, you just being nice. I mean, I live 7 minutes from Werner.
Like, why did they need the
because Lizy's schedule got screwed up with Big Ten.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I assumed it had something to do with weather, but I wasn't sure what the moving part was.
That was my man was like, "Hey, apologize for the last minute notice." I was like, "Oh my god,
you got some good games though."
Oh, sensational!
Yeah,
I mean, congrats to Lincoln Lutheran. I think Suits might have got more airtime than his squad.
Yeah,
they balled though. So baseball isn't baseball funny? It's like, they didn't really hit it all week.
Mm-hmm.
Just resolve.
Yeah.
Right. Then we saw Class B with Elkhorn North and Scott, and I mean Scott gets 9 runs with 2 outs.
Yeah.
It's just Elkhorn North storms back, like clutch hit late to get that thing to extras, and then Day slams the door, and then we saw a gem in Class A.
Yeah, the rematch from last year, Lincoln East and Millard North. That was a really fun.
It
baseball
was
game.
a sensational. It was just a really, really. We left, and they're like, that was a heck of a day.
Yeah, that was a
heck of a day for baseball.
Yeah,
3 games all decided by 1 run.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to, especially championship, like you're not going to get that very often.
No, it is. That ballpark has seen some thrillers since it's moved to Werner. I mean, some absolute thrillers.
How about I'm kind of feeling the Lincoln Lutheran gear.
Dude, it's pretty
like
sweet.
Their gear's pretty sick.
You know what's funny about that is I was being a total schmuck the first time any of those guys saw me earlier in the week, because I saw a lot of those guys on their phone trying to track the radar.
Yeah.
And I had Zoe out there in flip-flops with no umbrella. Her mom's gonna kill me, and so I was like, oh god, if she gets rained on, I will never hear the end of this. And so I was like, hey guys, can somebody help me? I'm not really good with radar. So they're like,
little help here, guys.
Yeah, he's like blowing it up, and he's showing me, and he's like, yeah, I'd give it about an hour. And I was like, man, teach me how to do that. It's like, just read. It's kind of how he said it. Like, this guy's an idiot. Oh my god, he's doing our games.
That's the best part, is because these are like the players, right?
Yeah. And it's just it's just kind of how I am.
Yeah, but that age group is not the right type of people to ask about doing something on their phone. They'll be like, what do you mean you don't know how to do this?
Oh yeah. Brett Ziegman's looking at me like, what a dingo. But because he's really good with the weather too. Like, he obviously, I mean, just his job.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on out there.
On it. And it was such a good weekend. And then I told Benny Mack on Saturday morning, I was like, man, hot take. I think Oregon wins this thing.
Yeah.
And
almost.
Isn't UCLA weird?
Yeah, I don't know what to make of them at all.
It's like, they're good. There's no question.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they just don't.
They don't always play like that?
No, they just, it's not like you look and you're like, oh god.
Yeah, they don't feel like a juggernaut.
Yeah.
They just sort of always get you.
And they kind of play with their food.
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, that's a little not to be expected, but you can see how that happens with the league they played in, considering like who they are.
Yeah. But I do think I think the Big Ten kind of held up their end of it.
They weren't bad.
Not at all. You've got 3 national seeds.
Yeah, not bad at all.
So, I mean,
I just think the depth of the conference isn't enough. Like they could get bored.
Yeah, I think there wasn't anybody that picked anybody outside the top 4 seeds to win that thing.
Yeah, and honestly, like they didn't get Nebraska, who's the 2nd best team in the league this year. So like their schedule wasn't.
Yeah,
it would have been easy to understand how they get a little bored.
Mm-hmm.
But they figured it out in Omaha.
Did you watch the national show?
The selection show? No, I just caught the regionals later.
KP had on some sweet Adidas. I wonder if he's transitioned.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What did he used to, was he a Nike guy before?
Well, I just like the look.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were like shell toe, but they were like old school. Looked like maybe some Stan Smiths.
Okay.
And I was like, you getting ready for Roland Garros? Or by the way, Sabalenka get out of that first set?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, it was 6.
It was 5-4 last time I saw.
Yeah, it ended up being 6-4, 6-1.
Oh, she got her act.
Yeah, she figured it out. She decided, speaking of playing with her food, she decided to stop.
I just don't think
I know you're
can
not
get
a
with
huge
her.
fan. I know you're not a fan.
Just
there's a lot of extra.
She's extra.
Yeah, there's a lot of extra stuff that, and honestly, for me, it's like the between point stuff as much as anything.
Oh yeah.
Like I just need you to show a little bit more composure.
She gives you the impression like she thinks she's pretty sweet.
Not just that, but like also that she's capable of melting down at any point.
Any point.
Which we've seen happen. Like we saw it last year against Coco.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's like, that's the reason the lack of composure thing bothers me, because it's gotten her.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Like some people just kind of wear their emotions on their sleeves regardless of sport and it works out. But some people you can tell like, oh, that's not a controlled burn thing. Like this is going to get her.
Mm-hmm.
And it does.
Were you more surprised that the Avalanche are in as much trouble as they are, that the Knicks just, well, how bright were you about? He said, yeah.
They broke them.
Calves are broken.
Yeah.
After get the next morning, calves are broken.
As soon as
they are bad.
I know that I missed the call technically on game 1, but I called that series exactly right.
Right.
That Cavs outplayed him in game 1.
Did Rico give himself the morning off?
No, he's packing for Oklahoma City. He's heading with softball.
He's smart. Like I
think half the state's going with him.
I think I'm surprised you got. Well, she's not leaving until tomorrow. I think probably, unless I think she's leaving tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe she's leaving later in the day.
Well, she's going home.
Oh
right?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
That's like
not a big deal. Doesn't have as much arrangements as maybe the rest of us do.
Playfly is going to be like, it's darn near a freebie.
Save a little money on the old hotels there,
and it's cool for her because I don't think anybody's poured more into softball.
Oh yeah,
since she's been here than her.
Yeah,
right. So I think to get a chance to watch them go, and then it's a home trip.
Yeah,
and she was animate too. She'd heard one of the segments. And I can't remember who made Oklahoma the fave. And immediately she's like, yeah, I disagree. I just don't think they have enough pitching depth.
Who are we talking to?
I don't know if it was Nate.
Oh, maybe.
Because I was like, yeah, I wouldn't make them.
I don't know who else we would have been talking
to,
though. Yeah.
Just can't get people out.
Yeah.
Now, how they lost yesterday was like, whoa.
There was a few, that Texas Tech Florida series, there was a lot of runs scored in that one
nasty,
too.
Though.
Oh, it was super nasty with Jay Williams' daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you going to hit somebody 5 times in a series?
Dude, in 3 games. And then she toasts you 2 of them. Just go a couple yaks on you. It's like, every time you don't hit me, I'm leaving the yard.
So you know how it's, and I don't know how many people were watching softball, but they had to kind of give the stat over the broadcast. It was like, hey, she's been hit 4 times all year.
Yeah.
All year.
Yes. It's not like she's like one of those people that crowds the play.
She's like, this is the 5th time she's been hit in the series. So yeah, guys, I think this is a developing storyline. I think
this does not appear to be an aberration.
She's like, hey, I think this needs context. And I was like, ooh.
Well, and the context for people that don't know is Mia Williams, Jason Williams' daughter, went to Florida for 2 years, transferred to Texas Tech. Those 2 teams met in the Super Regional, and then Florida apparently had some feelings about it.
Yeah. Well, I think she did kind of bet. They said parents on social media on the way out kind of said, listen, we need some more arms to support our offense.
Yeah.
So they were very dismissive of the pitching staff.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, kerplunk.
Well,
kerplunk.
And
Plunk.
Then Texas Tech had 16 runs in game 3 of a Super Regional, so maybe they weren't wrong about the pitching staff.
And you know what? It's the second of the women's sports that is as when it's played well, it's as much fun to watch as any sport on television. It's that and volleyball when it is played at a high level.
Yeah.
mean, softball, it's tough.
Yeah, it is. And it moves fast too.
Oh, yeah.
Which it makes it really easy to watch. Like people that have, and I don't, especially now with pitch clocks and stuff like that, like baseball moves pretty quick, but people that have a problem with the pace of baseball, like you'd enjoy softball.
So how good was state baseball? Boy, those guys, they towed the rubber and it was grip it and rip it. They did not jack around on the mound.
So I was trying to, not very well, but I was trying to help Austin out, like by filming some stuff because they were going down on the field to get champions and stuff like that. And so I was like, hey, I'll try and film to see if there's any like cool things that happen. And like the record, nothing happened, delete, back to the camera was all the time I had between pitches.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it like as fast as I can. And that is all the time I have between pitches.
So it was something sweet.
Like they were cooking.
It might have been Caden. It might have been Schaefer in the post game.
Oh, yeah.
He was talking about, because they got to Millard North got to Arenaga early.
Yeah.
So
well, and they pulled him early.
We were
too.
talking about on the broadcast. I said, he's one of the few left. This is real time in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, his delivery is interesting. Number one, he liked to pitch from the stretch.
Yeah.
Even with no one on base. And he's over the top.
Mm-hmm.
I said, this interesting arm slot for a lefty, because typically they don't have natural arm slots, right? And it was on you in a hurry, but they were getting even Mabus's early strikeout, he got a ton of good swings.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh God, they're kind of seeing this well.
Yeah.
So didn't think much of it. We're talking about it. And they chase Arenaga early. And I might have been up. I'm not sure who asked the question, but Schaefer was like, hey, we had an extra day.
Mm-hmm.
So Coach Bob brought us in. We got a chance to study extra film on Arenaga, and we saw this over the top arm slot.
Mm-hmm.
And so it gave us time to study.
Interesting.
And I was like, that's pretty sweet.
Because they got some good hacks on him.
And he's tough.
Yeah.
Listen, he's 7-0 with a 0.69 ERA.
Yeah.
And it's like, no big deal.
Yeah.
And now his body, it was tough early. I think he thought he was getting squeezed.
Mm-hmm.
And you could kind of tell, like, his body language wasn't great, but his stuff was.
Yeah.
And
so I sat on either side for a little while. So I sat on the Millard North side for a while, and then I moved over to where the rest.
Yeah, no love lost between those fan bases.
No,
God, I was like, ugh, it's kind of nasty.
I'll be honest, I thought there might be a little fight. Like,
right
as I was walking out, I was like, I'm gonna go. I think there might be a fight here.
It was even warm-ups were like that, and East had to wait. They got there a little early,
mm-hmm.
and so they waited because the game before went to extras, right?
Yeah.
And they're just so the fan bases were kind of
milling around. Yeah, that's never good.
Just some of the chants.
Yeah,
and Millard North student section gets it.
Oh yeah, that's a legacy I'm happy to have left.
I was like, I don't know if you can say that.
You could say anything till your admin stops you.
I thought the Hoosier Daddy's a little much. I was like, wow. But it was just, I don't know. They're such good, those teams, took on the personality of their coach.
Sure.
Coach Ryan at Lutheran, he's steady Eddie. And,
mm-hmm.
Damon Day is like, he's pretty intense. I was like, oh gosh, I don't think this guy wants to really do in-game interviews. Like, we better get these questions out quick. He said, no sense in crying over spilt milk. We got to find a way to scratch some runs out. I was like,
all right, good talk, coach.
All right, we'll holler. Okay, and the truck's like, all right, that'll do it.
That's probably enough.
Coach Dunn, sensational. And it was just, big bat. It was a fun weekend for is it ball bat?
Bat ball sports?
Bat ball sports.
So
why do I always want to say ball bat?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I will
just me being me.
I will say the Class B going into extras helped me out a little bit, so I could
buy yourself some time.
Yeah, so I could double dip on Saturday because I went to the beef game for a while beforehand.
Yeah, can I see that? That thing is sweet.
It is sweet. This is our little Omaha beef football. Shout out Omaha beef.
Oh, this is a gem,
right?
These are the ones that you feel like you could throw a country mile.
Yeah.
Oh God,
That's why I picked one up. I was like, these things are nice.
You may not get this one back. I don't know.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, you know where I live, huh? Yeah, this thing is nice.
We could call our buddy Ricky, the owner. I'm sure he can get you one.
You know, small world.
Yeah.
You know, help design this logo.
That guy.
Yep. Oh yeah. We like it was Bostic, Noddle, myself, like the whole look. We caught a little flack early.
Yeah.
But
no, it's stood the test of time.
Yeah, that dog will hunt.
I believe because
this is nice.
We do some work obviously with Ricky and the beef and stuff, and I believe Omaha is now the longest continuous running indoor football franchise in the country.
Yeah, and they were the fan base was because here comes like this Lincoln Lightning guy and his buddy Noddle's like, wait a minute, yeah, you can't just be making wholesale changes.
Yeah.
But that's just Jay, right? He's super aggressive and went and hired one of the best coaches. He went and got Coach Colin Sanders, and but this logo was like, we really thought it was clean. It's they have sweet gear.
They do. Well, and now our guys do most of it.
That gear is nice.
Yeah. And
I'm like, I never thought orange would pop.
The orange and black look good. I mean, you could ask the Hurrdat crew, but orange and black look good.
Yeah, look at you, and you're all geared up.
Well, so this is the Brand Goods guys made this for me.
Good natured dudes.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy going.
Yeah. Because I was like, hey, I want to go to this game, but I want to wear my Hurrdat shirt. Like, you guys have a hat for me over there. And they're like,
oh, look at you thinking ahead.
We'll take we'll take care of you. So
I should probably give this back, huh?
I mean, you can hold on to it for the show.
It just it feels
really it's a really nice football. That's why I picked one up, because I was like, that's a good one. But yeah, the extra innings in Class B helped me out a little bit to double dip. So I was able to stay for about a half of the indoor game. And then I was able to, and I didn't miss a pitch at Millard North, Lincoln East, which I was excited about because I got there about 7:45.
It just clutch. It's such a hard sport.
Yeah,
it's just
well. And how about the? I mean, I believe this was the terminology that we used on Twitter. You probably weren't allowed to say it on the air, but the absolute piss missile from Schaefer.
Oh, that Schaefer hit
to tie the game. Because at 5-4, it felt like Lincoln East had.
Okay, so Ravi he watched the pitch get hit off the bat, and immediately I was like, that's gone. I was like standing up, and I was like getting excited.
I just looked at the left fielder.
Yeah, Ravi didn't even move until it literally bounced into the second seat of the bleachers. He was like, oh my God, it's gone.
So that ball
was about 20 feet high.
So that's what I said. I was like, I don't think that ball got more than 20 feet off the ground the entire time. And it was hit so low, I just assumed it was ricocheting off the wall back to the left fielder.
What did he say in the post? Something to the effect of, I just reached out and got it. And I was like, huh?
So did you?
That thing was smoked.
Yeah, so I talked to him after, and he told me, he was like, I was just trying to get on base. I thought maybe a double at best.
So there's an angle that Nebraska Public Media put out on Twitter where he kind of like leans out. Like he literally is reaching out for it.
Did you see the ball he hit up the middle in the first inning?
Yeah.
Like he's a really good low ball hitter.
Yeah. I just couldn't believe he hit it that hard with how far out he was reaching on that ball.
That's
unreal.
That's really good. And he turned on it.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't far off the line. It was pretty far down the line.
And I'm telling you, like
that ball was stroked.
He's had arms.
Yeah.
I could not get over the hitting approaches from both teams.
Yeah.
I asked Coach Lonick, I was like, I gotta watch you guys come take BP. Driffle would get those guys 1-2-0-2 and
just hang.
You couldn't tell
around.
I mean,
like rounders just hanging
apparently
around.
With analytics, there are no B hacks. Like you're swinging that thing. There is no defensive swing at all. I was pleasantly surprised.
I gotta give. I always like stumble over. Coach Lovick.
You're talking about
no, Millard North.
Oh yeah,
Lovick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just call him Bob.
There's an H in there, and I get
yeah,
Coach Bob.
Yeah, you don't get put in. You see that guy's not missing any weightlifting sessions. I'd chill.
I will say the resolve to leave Driffle in there, because he got not like. It'd be really easy to feel like he got touched up and not look at the fact that like they really only hit one ball hard.
So at about the fourth inning, I said to Larry, I'm like, his moxie is is pretty impressive
Yeah.
because it wasn't pretty. And he didn't love the zone early either.
So
and he would show it with his body language, but he just hung in there.
So that's what I was going to say about having sat on both sides of the stadium is both sides felt like they were getting squeezed.
Yeah.
Like both of them felt like they were not getting the zone they wanted. But like, honestly, after the first like 3 innings, Driffles kind of started to cruise a little bit.
Tough.
Like he did really well kind of navigating super choppy waters early.
Yep.
And then settling it. Like you don't see that from high school guys a lot. You don't see that from college guys a lot where they can navigate sort of a rough couple of first innings and end up having a really good outing. Like
you could just tell the warm-ups. East is always going to be, I mean, how many consecutive finals? Like that's a great baseball program.
Yeah.
I told you before we left on Friday, there was just something about Millard North late in the season where like they play with some swag.
Yeah.
Like, that's a fearless bunch.
Oh, for sure.
They warmed up, pretty loose. Some of the guys had their warm-ups on. I was like, this one's intense.
Yeah.
Because I like, there's so many different ways teams warm up now. And I just.
Well, and a lot of those guys were in the game last year, obviously, against East. So there was whatever like fear factor you may have about a state champ 29-2 coming into the like whatever hesitancy you might have about that, like
I
did not
think
exist for Millard North.
Lincoln East's only losses this year. They lost once to Westside, which we saw. It was 12-6, I think.
Yep.
And then Southwest late.
Yeah.
That's a gaudy record.
Yeah.
We saw, like, that's why baseball is interesting, right? Mount Michael, I think, had a losing record going into state. They're 14-12 heading into the state championship. Lutheran had, I think, 7 losses. Millard North was 25-10.
Yeah, 22-10 going in, right? Yeah, 22-10 going in.
I know, and I said, I'm like, well, I mean,
like
40% of your losses were to Westside,
who went 31-3, by the way.
Right? It's like
had their own.
Okay,
which one of those was Millard North, I think, right? One of the 3. Yeah.
So it's like, it's pretty good.
Yeah. No, there was. I mean, Westside and Lincoln East were both like gaudy records going into that thing.
I don't know. It was fascinating. How cold did it get though?
It did get a little chilly.
We left. I don't know. It was probably close to 11, and I was like,
yeah, because game didn't wrap till like
our producers.
10-20.
I was like, it's chilly out here.
Yeah,
but I was just being a baby.
I did not dress for it because it was warm when I left for the day, and I was like, oh, I'll be fine. Yeah, it's a good thing that
that's why you need to just dress like me. I was in sleeves.
Yeah, you're wearing shorts half the time though, man. I'm not.
I did not. I did ask Larry. I said, "Hey, are you wearing shorts?" Because sometimes they'll wear like dress shorts.
Yeah, like golf shorts.
He's like, "No, I think I'm rocking with pants." And I was like, "Okay." So I wore slacks. It was fine.
Yeah, you make it. You're doing okay.
Yeah, it is an athletic top and slacks is not.
No, it's not
my jam.
Yeah,
but it was fine.
It's not the worst.
Oh, a nice little Adidas top. It's blue too. How about that?
What was it like a Nebraska Public Media top?
So they were going to bring me an XL, but some reason I never just tried. I just kept on what I had because I felt like it matched. Is pretty close to Larry's because his was Adidas navy.
Yeah,
except he had the MPM.
Yeah. I said, what do you have that's blue?
Just Next Gen.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
I was like,
and that wasn't. I can't be logoed up, right?
Yeah.
So it was like
that's what I mean. I was like, I don't think you never wear blue.
That's it. Like that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that is.
Yeah. Everything else is red, gray, and black.
Yep. Or white.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't wear a lot of white though.
I can't stay clean.
Yeah. Just gotta be a little more careful.
I don't have to walk around like I'm in a bubble. Because the first smudge and I'm shook.
Come on now.
It's fine.
I actually did think about. So I was wearing my my white Hurrdat little New Era like cage jacket on Saturday, but I had to grab something to eat on the way to the beef game, and so I was like,
"Oh, what'd you go with?"
So
cold cuts?
No, you don't want to hear this.
Oh, good.
So.
By the way, Micah, he launched a scud.
Did he?
What morning was it? Friday. He's like, Caleb was just trying to get something in quick, and he's like, "Oh, he's just gonna go with one of those Ravi breakfasts, like big Pop-Tart guy." Oh, it was funny. He just kind of slid it in. And Kale was like, "What?" He goes, "You seen that guy's breakfasts?" Oh, so it's like, "Ooh, shots fired!"
I gotta buy more burritos.
Yeah, well, you got the one left. I know you're afraid to eat. I'll eat it.
I don't think that one's good anymore.
I'll
I
eat
forgot it was in there. I thought I ate them all. And
I was eyeing that thing down this morning.
listen, you're more than welcome to give it a go.
Austin, he checked the label, and I was like, "It's still good, man."
It's just been in there a minute now, and I don't know what the expiration is on it. You're
I'm
welcome.
I'm surprised that Damon saw it in the fridge and was like, "Oh, this is still fine."
He's put it on the counter. He's like, now it's okay.
Everybody's got jokes. Everybody's got jokes. It'd be just fine, AJ.
No, occasionally I actually did headily eat a little beef on the way. So occasionally,
I haven't logged in yet. Should I log in?
I mean, if you want to talk to our friends here.
AJ, how come you didn't tell me I wasn't logged in yet? You don't. It's not your day to babysit me. You know Shane wasn't going to say anything.
I have no way to know that. What do you mean?
Oh, you can see if he's in the StreamYard or not.
Oh, I thought you meant if you got a stream or not. Sorry.
There he is.
I apologize. Sometimes I'm too sassy for my own good. My bad.
This dude just said sassy. Oh my gosh.
I apologize.
Sassy.
I mean,
what is this? 1960?
Bro, you're being sassy now. Knock it off.
Don't talk to me with that sass. Listen, that wasn't the term that was used in our household.
I mean, you straight up call grown men naughty. So I'd be like, what's the like?
You're good now, by the way, Damon. You're logged in.
So I was going to the beef game, and every once in a while I have this great
T-Mac. By the way, he balled.
Sassy over zesty.
He balled.
So there's this. Did you see the slow-mo of him driving to the hoop? And
yes.
like he like opens the man. He's like,
yeah. I just was
like nobody touches him, and he's like, ah.
I don't think that's exactly
I can hear him making that noise. They've had him mic'd up before. Like that's exactly, he's like, ah.
He had a heck of a series. All right, real quick. Tell me how'd you eat in your weight?
So I took it off to eat because I was like, I really don't want to
that's probably a good decision.
And it was in the car.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you get naked in your car?
No, I had a shirt under it. I don't wear the cage shirts. Just like
what a wackadoodle! Like what is wrong with you,
like,
Neutron?
I was wearing you saw me dressed at the baseball game.
Well, I assume you put your clothes back on after you ate.
I took the white over shirt off and I had the black like sleeveless hoodie on under it. But so every once in a while I have this craving for just McDonald's cheeseburgers. And I get that it's not a good cheeseburger, but in the moment, that's the thing that I want. And a better cheeseburger would not satisfy the craving. So, and I know you don't have cravings, so it's hard for you to understand.
So I will tell you.
Yeah.
I do, just not for. It would be for a sweet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It would be like, I go through I'd love a Hostess pie or. Mm-hmm. Certainly not ding dongs. But
no, but you like the fruit pies, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So my man Aaron at lunch last week, we had to sneak it in quick. Brought me chocolate zingers.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I was like, for as well as you know me, I ain't rocking with the chocolate, but he's just looking out for me.
Yeah, appreciate him listening to the show, so we knew about the zingers though.
No, the funny thing about him, he only likes the first hour.
Yeah.
Because he just likes the real,
the banter,
authenticity.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, big sports guy.
We try and be authentic with our guests too. But I actually do hear a lot of people are like, "Oh, the first hour is my favorite."
Everybody except Flaky Jake.
Well, TK this morning too. He's on. He wants the O-line talk. We'll get to some O-line talk, man. I promise. It'll be all right.
Everybody.
What's wrong with him? He must be a former lineman.
He's like, hey, talk about the O-line commits. All right, bud, we'll get to it.
They're not done either.
Yeah, I mean they old Geep is putting in some work.
Yeah, they're not. They got a couple guys in the fold that I think. I am waiting for a signing day flip for Ahmad Hudson. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah,
I'm sticking to it.
You think so?
Yeah, what do I have to lose?
Yeah, that's fair. I I certainly don't think this recruitment's over. I think that's fair.
I'm just hoping LSU continue to do LSU things.
I mean, I like how Will Wade just hasn't signed anybody for next year that's even eligible to play college basketball.
I know, but you look at if it goes the way he wants, though,
it's a good. Well, yeah, because they're all professional basketball players.
They're like, oh, this roster's loaded.
It's like, yeah, okay, I'm going to sign Jamal Murray, and I'm going to sign Devin Booker, and I'm going to.
Speaking of which, your sports talk, who everybody thinks the Cavs should make a run at?
Who?
He's employed in Chapel Hill.
Oh.
I'm like, look.
You're like, hey.
No,
ease up off my guy, Mike Malone.
Because he's going to be good there.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, his buyout's only $8 million. That's in the seat cushion for Gilbert, which it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But leave the Malone talk alone.
I don't think Mike Malone's going to fix what ails Cleveland.
You missed a great chance to say
some toughness. They do need some toughness.
You missed a great chance just to say, leave him alone.
Well, he just wakes up with it, doesn't he?
But
hey, Neutron, did you get a lot of sleep?
Yeah, I slept most of Sunday.
Like during the day?
Yeah.
Really?
I slept until like 11. It's pretty good.
There you
go.
Long week. It was a long week.
Yeah,
for him, not for me.
I did not catch up. Although you'd have been proud of me. So what day was it? One day I started a movie at like 4:40
in the AM.
Yeah, but then I kind of dozed back off around 7.
Oh, okay. Look at you. What movie was it?
The Cleaner.
Is that a Denzel movie?
No, other black guy. Samuel Jackson.
Oh, I was thinking of The Eraser.
Samuel Jackson with hair just doesn't do it for me.
Cleaner, Eraser. Is this a new one?
No, it's like 07 maybe.
Oh, okay. Because there's also
I know you're gonna be surprised
at 2025
what it's about, but
I assume some sort of assassin or murderer or something.
Oh, he cleaned up crime scenes.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
You know, it's funny though. I've never thought about
you big Eva Mendes guy.
Pre-augmentation, yeah.
So 07 you're in your wheelhouse,
not post-augmentation.
Yeah.
No. I was just praying she wasn't a bad guy. It's kind of hard to figure out at first, but Ed Harris always plays it. What?
We just have a running joke. You figure out who the bad guys are in movies, and sometimes it should be easier than others.
Yeah, this one took me a second.
This one a little more ambiguous than there's Nazis involved.
That was an accident. I don't
DB
even
was
know
rooting for the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
He probably was.
I was kind of.
He's rooting for the shark in Jaws. He's rooting for Sid in Toy Story.
Man, this War of the Worlds is really hard to tell.
His wife to get eaten. She was such a whiny baby. I was like, zip it. That's my son.
He's rooting for the iceberg in Titanic.
Oh. I don't root for villains. It was a little unclear at first.
In The Cleaner?
No, in Glorious Bastards.
I don't think it was unclear. If one group is the Nazis, they're the bad guys.
So you know the scene that was throwing me?
Which one?
Was when they broke into when they ambushed your boy in the bar, in the tavern. And I was like, was he a bad guy or a good guy?
Did you start there?
No. But wasn't he about to flip? Like, he seemed like a guy that was trying to do the right thing.
Nah.
All right.
Nah. I'm going to help you out. Calvin Candy and Django, bad guy.
He was an idiot. Who put the Knicks hat on him?
I don't know.
Was that Rico?
I don't know if he put it on him, but that's like a meme. Yeah. Like Rico put where he's like, and he's got the Knicks hat on.
Yeah. Why would the guy put a Knicks hat on Calvin Candy?
I think it's just the face he's making. I don't think it's about the character as much.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, that's what I took from it. We got to take a break though. We got Kyle Peterson coming up next.
Already?
College baseball.
Oh,
yeah,
shoot. Hey, good job producing, letting us know what time it is. Like, it's okay if you say...
guys are on your time.
God.
Would it have even mattered if we told you anything?
Yes, because he's at 7:40 for a reason. He has bleep to do.
Yeah. Quick one here, Shane. We'll take a quick break. Kyle Peterson coming up next. Talk college baseball here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's time for Stars, Stripes, and Savings at Edwards Chevrolet. Save $12,000 off MSRP on the 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 RST, a truck deal worth celebrating. 2 Chevys, 2 ways to save. This May only. We've also got the 2026 Chevrolet Trax 1RS starting at $299 a month. Don't wait. Get in on Stars, Stripes, and Savings this May at Edwards Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
For Borsheim's and Hurrdat Sports, I'm here with Bubba Day, pitcher and hitter, played both sides today. Have you had a chance to just come off the emotions of that game? It was obviously back and forth.
No, I actually can't even believe it. I mean, there was 2 outs left in the last inning, and we found a way to do it, which is, I mean, I believed in us, but I was like, wow, we really did it. So it's super cool, and I don't even think it's set in yet what we actually did. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah, and to do that with your dad, too, just kind of talk about sharing this special moment with him.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it all year going into it. Like, we wanted to win a state championship, and that's what we did. So getting to hug him after the end of the game was something I'm never going to forget.
Let's kind of talk about your performance. You were 3 for 4 today. No bigger hit than that last hit, right?
Yeah,
what were you looking for? What was your approach coming into that at bat?
I mean, I knew there was 1 out, so I just knew I had to put the ball in play somewhere deep, get the guy in from third, and he left one over the middle, and I was able to do my job.
Also, doing it on the other side, pitching too.
Yes, sir.
Did you know that you were coming into that, and how were you kind of preparing?
I mean, we had to tie it up for me to come back in, and we tied it up. So once we kind of scored that last run, I was pumped up. I was ready to go. So super exciting.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi, Lulla.
I looked invisible for a second.
I don't think you did. I see you.
Shut up.
We are joined now by Kyle Peterson. He is going to talk a little college baseball with us. KP, how are we doing this morning?
Morning, guys. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, first things first. Let's get the tough question out of the way. Were those Stan Smiths you were rocking yesterday, or were those the old school shell tops?
They weren't Stan Smiths. I got to be honest with you. I'm not really a shoe guy. I just kind of buy the ones that I like, so I don't know what they're called. I do have Stan Smiths, so I know what those are. These are Adidas that when I got them, my daughter's like, Dad, those are pretty cool. Yeah. So they must be okay, but I don't know what they're called.
KP, of all the hard-hitting information, I couldn't get over 2 things. Number one, I thought your shoe game was impressive. And how about my mom going, she goes, is that the same Matt Schick from Omaha? Is he still funny? And I was like, yeah, but you don't laugh at my stuff. What makes Schick funny?
Your mom must know Seinfeld then, because there's always some Seinfeld reference, and I catch half of them because I liked Seinfeld, but I wasn't like psychotic about it like Schick was. So he'll always, and Rooney always knows what it is, and then we get down there like, hey, wasn't that? Rooney's like, did you hear when he said this? Yeah, I did. It was funny.
Now Rooney is low key funny because
he's the best,
right? He's hilarious. Well, I don't even think he has to try.
No, there's a text stream. There's like 6 of us on it, and it's kind of baseball intended, but that doesn't last very long. And then it just moves on to random other things. He's a riot. Then he does a couple podcasts, but one with Chris Burke every week, like 3 or 4 times a week. And That's beautiful. Yeah, it's such a fun show, man. I mean, it's crazy quick, and the second hour we get to do a bunch more and kind of hang out a little bit, but it's always a fun 2 days out here.
All right, let me start away from Lincoln. I'll get to the low-hanging fruit. I want to go to Lawrence, right? Where, Kansas in uncharted waters. It's going to be a sensational kind of, the environment. How about the Jayhawks and their season, and now as a regional host?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, you win the regular season, and then go kind of back it up and win the tournament. I think maybe it doesn't matter, but the thing that impressed me the most about them winning the tournament is they had to beat West Virginia, who went to Lawrence and swept them.
Yeah, just
I think just a couple weeks ago. And I think that piece it's big for them. I thought that a 15 seed it should have been better than that. I mean, to be honest with you, they should have been seated above Nebraska.
They playing at? I didn't think we'd see their name called at 12.
Yeah, well, 13, but they're still. Yeah, I definitely thought they'd host. I just thought Kansas would be above them. It doesn't matter, but I mean, KU beat them. They won the regular season. They won the conference tournament in the Big 12, and they put them 15 and West Virginia 16. But regardless, yeah, it's been pretty cool. What's up?
I was happy to see West Virginia. That place is gonna. Ravi, a lot of guys on our set are cheering for West Virginia to get here because they want the fan base.
Fan base would be awesome, and it's only the second time they've ever hosted. I mean, second time at West Virginia, first time in Lawrence ever. And then obviously there hasn't been one in Lincoln since 2008. So Lawrence is going to be awesome. And you got Arkansas coming there, who's ticked that they're not hosting. And Arkansas plays Missouri State first, and they almost fought like 13 times the last time they played earlier this year. So it'll be a little spicy to start it.
KP, before we get to Nebraska, who do you think has the toughest regional? Because I'm looking at Florida State draws Coastal Carolina, which is no gem.
Eugene is tough.
Who do you look at and you go, oh man, the host did not get any favors?
I think the toughest one is actually Southern Miss. And the reasoning is everybody else. Like Virginia was hurt. You look at the first half of the season, Virginia was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Second half of the season, they were okay, but they were beat up. Now they're not. Jacksonville State is absolutely the best 3 seed out there. They have no business being a 3 seed. They hammered Auburn like 2 weeks ago. And Little Rock took LSU to Game 7 last year in Baton Rouge in a regional and played their way back into it. It's a better Little Rock team. So it may not be like the sexiest of all the different regionals, but I think that one's tough. I think Lincoln is about as tough as it gets. I mean, the only difference between those two, like Ole Miss and Arizona State, if they get going, can really slug.
Yeah, they rake.
Mm-hmm.
They can really slug. Now, Ole Miss can really swing and miss too. And that kind of comes down to what day do you catch? Do you catch them on the day they punch out 14 times and keep in the ballpark, or do you catch them on the day that they run 4 of them out of there? Arizona State's got one of the best players in the country. And it's not just him, but it's an interesting lineup because it's kind of 4 guys that do damage, and then everybody else that's just okay. But they hit over 100 home runs, and the vast majority came from 4 guys.
When you're go ahead. I'm sorry, KP.
It's your show, D.
No, I you gave me the pause. I apologize. So at first blush, I'm like, on paper, super offensive runs will be scored regardless. Or could you see a scenario, from Elliott and Carl? Like, there are some interesting matchups. Is this one? Could you just size this up by talking about bullpens? Like the best bullpen gets this done, or do you think it's inevitable? You just got to slug.
No, I don't think you have to slug. I think Nebraska's the best team. They're definitely the most balanced for me. What Nebraska does is they're just super well-rounded. Like, they really defend. Ole Miss does not really defend. We go compare the defensive numbers, and there's a massive difference. Nebraska throw a fair amount of strikes. I mean, Ole Miss doesn't throw a ton of strikes, but there's a bunch of wow. Like Utermark's, it's a bunch of wow. He's their career home run leader. They do have real swing and miss stuff. And I think that their starter numbers from an ERA standpoint are a little bit misleading because now they're healthy. I mean, Hunter Elliott was on the national championship team.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how many times he's been out there. Now, I mean, he came back from Tommy John. He's battled a bunch of stuff. Rave's got real stuff. So Ole Miss becomes the interesting one, but Arizona State's old in a good way. Willard Bloomquist, who played the big leagues forever, kind of has they have that kind of a feel to them in a good way. And Carlone, who will throw day one, is a big leaguer.
Yeah.
And he's back, which is good. He looked great in the Big 12 tournament. He's punched out like 125 guys. He's real.
Yeah, Carlone, he and Elliott, that's a fantastic matchup.
Yeah.
What about so it's obviously going to be electric. It will be a fun place to be. Anything you think we're missing with Nebraska being at home? We're like, ooh, host. You always want to host. But would you use the word pressure or just kind of that it's a privilege, man? You earn the right to be there, like embrace it.
I would hope it's the second. I mean, we'll see those guys on Thursday, I guess. I would hope they're really looking at it as a privilege. I know that it seemed that way when Will came on with us yesterday. I haven't talked to him yet.
I just
aside from that, but
the first audio, he wasn't sitting in the chair, and I was like, "Wait, where's Coach Bull?"
Hey, we had some audio gremlins yesterday, man. I mean, we were 5 seconds to doing an interview, and you couldn't hear the other person. And Chick's looking at me. I'm like, you're the host, dude. You figure it out now.
Thing in a hurry, though. It was like bang bang. It was gone.
Yeah, that's the way it works every year. I was laughing with Rooney about it afterwards. I'm like, man, I get so stressed for this show, and the last 2 years have been different. And you want to make sure you get all the information, the pronunciations, and everything, and then you get done after an hour, and you're like, what the hell just happened? Like, it flies. And the reality is you hardly say anything. The point of the whole show is show the brackets, talk to the chair of the committee and understand what they were thinking, and talk to a coach. And then we say a few things. Like, that's what that show should be. You watch it for the brackets. You want to see who's playing each other. And so now it's just like, all right. And then we do the second show, which is kind of fun because you can screw around a little bit more, and it's not just bracket. You can actually dive into some other things. I'm glad that we added the second hour. It's a different audience, a different network, but it's still it's a fun way to do it.
Let me ask you, if I cheer my brains out for Carolina. Anybody, that's the only team I look at that's not Nebraska in college baseball. And I'm watching them against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's been great, obviously, all season. And I look at the outcome, then I look at the seed difference, and I look at Chapel Hill's region with, Tennessee, ECU, and VCU. Carolina can pitch it, not as offensive as some. I'm a little concerned about them winning their own regional.
It's not going to be easy. I mean, Tennessee has a big leaguer that I don't know when they're going to throw him. And that'll be interesting. If they try to get through game one with Evan Blanco, a left-hander, then that creates an interesting situation in game two. The other thing about North Carolina is, like, VCU is not going to go in there all wowed with the environment because they play all these guys. Mm-hmm. And so I think 4 seeds are created differently. One, do you have an ace? And so does it force the 1 seed to say we're going to throw our ace? Or 2, is it somebody that's in the neighborhood that just kind of knows everybody? And VCU definitely fits that second piece. East Carolina is, I mean, arguably they had to win their conference tournament to get in. They would have been on the bubble, but they wouldn't have been a lock. So it's a little bit different ECU team than before. But yeah, it's definitely not one of the easier regionals, that's for sure.
KP, you mentioned Jack State a little bit earlier and how they didn't really have much business being a 3 seed. Is there any other kind of team that you look at and you go, yeah, I'm not really sure that the committee got it right with that one?
I do think Mercer should have been in, and I think it would have been fun. They probably would have gone to Georgia. They would have gone to Georgia or Georgia Tech, one of those two.
Did Kentucky surprise you?
It didn't surprise me. I wouldn't have put him in, but it didn't surprise me. But that being said, Jelkin's a real ace. I mean, he went headed. I think he won 6 or 7 of his 10 starts in the SEC. And it kind of is one of those deals where I don't think they can go through and win the regional, but they can cause your best round 1 pitching matchup, like game 1 pitching matchup, is either in Lincoln or it's Kentucky Wake Forest. As far as ace, and we could. I don't know what they're going to do, but if Texas holds Volantis, which I assume they will, and if UC Santa Barbara can beat Tarleton and not throw Jackson Flora, who leads the country in ERA, and is probably going to be the first pitcher taken in the draft this year, you could have Volantis and Flora day 2 in Austin, which would be like legendarily good.
How much do I need to be taking a look at? Because I get the draw, but I mean, Nick Lewis, Washington State starts him, obviously, right? I mean, that's a pretty good matchup with Oregon State, right?
Yeah, Oregon State, even without Dax Whitney, if Oregon State with Dax Whitney is top 16. The fact that he may be gone for next year too, which really stinks, but he was as good as anybody in the country. I think Flora, you can't say was better than Flora, but I mean, Dax Whitney still will probably be the first pitcher taken in the draft next year, and he might not throw a pitch. So I think that one, Oregon State has to, they're not going to win a lot of games 10-9. They're just not built for that right now, whereas Oregon kind of is built for that. So that'll be an interesting regional to watch as it goes forward. Whoever gets through the Wazoo-Oregon State game, I assume they're going to play Oregon. But you're either going to have to pitch out of your mind, or you're going to have to be a little bit offensive, because I think Oregon will be.
Saw a stat the other day on the network where it's one of the reasons why I thought Oregon was going to win the Big Ten tournament. But 9 pitchers, you got to tell me if you've seen this before. 9 pitchers thrown between 20 and 75 innings. All 9 KP have greater strikeouts than innings pitched.
Yeah, they're super physical. I mean, I don't know which show I said it on yesterday, but I saw them play in Vegas, and I mean, they look like a football team. I mean, they are big, man.
We saw it on
yeah, and you don't see that on the West Coast as much. It's just, but Waz he recruits differently. Their ballpark plays more offensive, and he's recruited too. Like, it wouldn't shock me if Oregon ends up here. And I know they got to go through Texas or whoever wins that Austin regional, but based on what I saw in Vegas, and it was early, it was 2nd or 3rd week of the season, they're good enough to make a run here.
Kyle, when you're kind of separating tiers of teams, where do you draw the line between tier 1 and tier 2, and how big is the gap?
I draw it at North Carolina. So I'd go UCLA, Tech, Georgia, Auburn, North Carolina, and I would throw Florida in that group.
Which Texas do you think you'll see?
I don't know. It's scary, and I like the stuff, but it scares me because 2 of their best bullpen arms are freshmen. Riojas, they held out of the SEC tournament intentionally. He hadn't looked very good in 3 or 4 weeks. Volantis is awesome. And listen, man, their staff has been great. There's a ton of swing and miss. And the freshmen that I talked about one of them throws 97, the other one 96. It's 2 totally different looks. They're top heavy offensively, but they're good, and they keep winning. It's kind of it's a little bit better team than Texas was last year, and Texas like overpunched last year. I mean, they won the SEC in the regular season, and they weren't as good as some of the other teams. They just won. He's done some of that this year, so Yeah, I don't think they're as like uber talented as some others, as those 6 that I said. Florida's the one that they're getting into their best look at the right time of the year.
You believe in Florida State?
No. If they had Miles Bailey, yes. I mean, I think they can still get to Omaha. If they could really pitch it, Mendez is the ACC pitcher of the year, but when they lost Miles Bailey, who was one of the most impactful just players, but bats, presence, the whole thing. It's not an overly scary offense without him in it, but it's an overly scary pitching staff.
Right. Coastal staff is getting healthy too, though.
Yeah, they're getting as healthy as they're going to be. Coastal's one of those teams where you have to beat them because they're not going to beat themselves. They're going to get hit. They're going to steal bags. They're going to hit and run. They're going to force you to defend the bunt. They're still pretty young on the mound, even though we're at the end of the season. But there's still a fair amount of freshmen that are going to have to get some big innings. But and they're not going to be wowed by any environment based on what they went through last year. But it's not as talented a Coastal team as there was last year. But they play a style that's very different to most people when they play them, and you got to be ready for what they're going to give you because they're not just going to stand up there and see how far they can hit it.
Kyle, is that group of 6 the group that you think can win the national championship, or is it bigger than that?
Those would be the 6 that I think have the best chance. Yeah, I think if State gets on a heater and really, if they've got a true 1-2-3 punch, but especially 1-2 punch on the mound. I mean, Blinkus is top of the half, first round good. Excuse me, from a starter standpoint. If they get McPherson back healthy, State could be really dangerous. I'm interested in Oklahoma State. I mean, they're second in the country in home runs. They do have a real ace. I think he's second in the country in strikeouts. I think Oklahoma State, I think their draw. I mean, they're in Alabama, which Alabama kind of feels like Texas last year to me, where they did a hell of a job to accomplish what they have. And I think they should have been seated where they are. But eye test is like, okay, they're good. But you don't walk away saying, man, that team can scare you. And then whoever wins that plays whoever wins Florida State. And if it happens to be Florida State, and if Oklahoma State gets through, Florida State can play really small. And if Oklahoma State goes into a ballpark that plays small, they're going to cause some people some problems.
KP, last one from me. Can SC score enough to bother A&M?
Yes, because anybody, I think everybody's going to score on A&M. So they've I mean, their ace hasn't thrown in 3 weeks. I don't know if he's going to throw. They have not pitched it well this year at all. But man, that offense is fun to watch. I mean, it's them, Georgia Tech for me, for the 3 best offenses that you really want to watch. So they're going to have to slug their way here, and I think they absolutely can. But you got a staff on the other side that is as good as any staff in the country. That one gets super interesting because it's not. I mean, Mason Edwards has 160 strikeouts. The guy next on the list has 139 in the country. He's got almost 30 some strikeouts more than whoever's next, and it doesn't stop there. They go from there. So you got teams that want to play teams that I would say have to play 2 different styles, but I think you'll see SC be more offensive in that ballpark and against that pitching staff, those pitching staffs, not just them.
That is Kyle Peterson from ESPN and the SEC Network. Kyle, we appreciate the time as always. Great stuff.
Thanks, KP.
Bye, fellas. See you in Lincoln.
That is Kyle Peterson from ESPN. We'll talk to one Gary Sharp of, wait for it, the Omaha World Herald, coming up next here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's time for Stars, Stripes, and Savings at Edwards Kia. Lease the 2026 Kia Sportage EX starting at $259 a month. A great lease to kick off May. 2 Kias, 2 reasons to celebrate. Only at Edwards Kia. We've also got the 2026 Kia K4 GT starting at $239 a month. Don't wait. Get in on Stars, Stripes, and Savings this May at Edwards Kia.
Home. I was with my family on the back porch watching it, and it was emotional. I'll be honest. I mean, it was. I thought, I told you guys after the game, I felt like we should be a slam dunk. We should be a lock. I told the players that, after we met up in the dugout there, that I felt like we were locked to host a regional. So you never want to assume anything either. Just to see that pop up there and kind of see, you kind of think back to, the memories of being here before and having a chance to host a regional here and what that means for our fan base. And, we've talked about it a lot, obviously. I stood in my opening press conference, talked about hosting a regional, so the standards have been high. So to kind of see that come to fruition is pretty awesome. But it's also not the final goal either. It's just a goal.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Gary Sharp of the Omaha World Herald, which sounds weird to say. What's up?
Yes, it does. It does.
What are you stepping to, Ding Dong?
I like that bump music.
Oh, thank you.
That was good. That was a nice little. That was a nice little vibe. Thank you for having me on to talk about the Scripps spelling bee that begins today.
Hey, Ravi's folks are well represented. I always cheer for him. So he's rocking and rolling, buddy.
Hey, I kind of do as well because I'm in a pool where you select the winning state. Are they wearing glasses or not? Male or female? How many letters are in their winning word? And then where their parents originated from. It's actually really good. There's a lot of money involved.
I actually kind of believe it.
No, I do. India's got to be #1 overall pick. Has to be.
Pakistan.
We don't talk about them.
But the U.S. has represented really well of late.
Oh man! So
how's it going?
What is wrong with you?
What do you mean? What is wrong with me? By the way, congratulations to both of you. The alma mater winning a state baseball championship. And I waited all Saturday to hear my favorite DB baseball commentary line. He's shopping at the Gap.
You D-bag. Some things never change.
I think that was inappropriate and uncalled for. I was just giving you a compliment. Is that how you're going to handle compliments?
How well was that game played, though? Wasn't that nuts?
Yeah, that was, they're two teams that were built to get back there, and it was electric factory. I love what state high school baseball and softball have done with their format and getting television coverage and how it's elevated the sport, because the people inside of the sport were like, you know what? If we want television coverage, if we want to make it a huge event, we've got to make some changes. And they did to the format where you have a winner take all. And we're on a nice little run here. The 3 classes, when you get to that final day, the stands, whether they be at Werner Park or at Tal Anderson, are packed. The students show up. It's been pretty good. And that game definitely delivered on Saturday night.
How about the personalities? It's strange with the demeanors of the head coaches that Damon Day could get overshadowed a little bit. We haven't really talked about him yet. I mean, it was one of those guys when we went to him in the dugout, Sharpie. I was a little intimidated just because, and I've known him forever, right? I'm a huge fan, but he just oozes intensity, man. I just was like, that game flew under the for his. It got overshadowed with what happened late, but that game was sensational.
That game was a circus.
It was.
Yeah. I mean, the way that game started, I didn't think Scott would win, but to rally and hang around, and then for Damon to have his son Bubba come through and get the walk off. I mean, that's a pretty cool dad moment, and it's a pretty cool moment. I mean, the guy had his program at UNK pulled out from underneath him.
Yeah,
and I will give him credit. He hung around, and got paid and golfed a lot in Kearney, and now he's a state championship baseball coach at Scott.
Dude, you're wild.
Hey, he's good. He's a good baseball coach. I can't wait to see his son in the SEC to see what he does.
So what's interesting about that sequence was, runners on first and second with no outs. He gets the infield pop up, which at that point was a huge out, right, for Christo. The very next time he has him he sacrificed bunt, and I'm thinking, ooh, like. I look at it immediately like coaching my kid, right? That would be like telling, Caleb or Mike, like take a knee, or something like that. It's just to stay in the moment when that's your son to do what's best for the game.
It'd have been like telling Caleb to fair catch.
Yeah.
You'd be like, hey, just fair catch this one ball.
And it's like, and then he didn't bring him. He waited to drop the hammer out of the bullpen too. I thought he was going to come in for Teeter earlier. He saves it, and then he closes the door. Like, there's a lot of emotions that go with that father-son thing.
Yeah, I know. I've been around you for a while, Robbie.
Right?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Sometimes it clouds your opinion, but that's okay. You're a dad.
Wow.
No, but that's the reality. Is like you don't want to make it seem like you're coaching your kid, but you have to. It's not easy to do, to separate the emotions of that's your son. And that's your son or daughter in the moment, and they have a pretty important role. And people are always skeptical of, oh, they're only playing because they're the the coach's kid. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on that kid to be fairly good. So people go, oh, you're just in the lineup because you got to share the same last name, and you got the mom. Mom is with dad. So you got to be better. I mean, look at. That's what it is. That's been like youth sports all the way to high school, but they have it was a really good team. I got to see a lot more of the high school baseball tournament this year than I've seen in the past. And that is a sport that has been in a good spot in this state for a long time. And with the prospects and the travel ball to these showcases, it's gotten even bigger platform. And I'm glad in-state, in that short amount of time that they play high school baseball, it has gotten more attention. And high school baseball, I mean, sports in general in this state, regardless of what ball or whatever you're using, we're in a good spot here. We're in a good spot with sports in the state of Nebraska.
Yeah, but Bubba is sensational. I would just, and it's the little things too. We've talked about this with Coach Dunn, whether it's, it's the aggressiveness on the base pass, the athleticism. I mean, did you see Odalade?
Yeah.
Like, how about that, Frank? Like, just the athleticism of the sport. We were talking with KP about Oregon, and he was talking about the size and their prowess. Like, it's baseball. It's just changed.
Yeah. Like fat kids like myself just can't, slide in and play first base. I mean, you got to be athletic now. I mean, no, but seriously, like you look at Oregon. I mean, guys from Oregon look like they're lifting weights with the football team, and they have 2.5 kids, a portfolio, and they live with a cottage behind a white picket fence. I mean, the athletes in baseball have changed drastically because it used to, Cecil Fielder could play and you'd go, oh yeah, they're not. Well, now he probably still could play, but baseball players are the conditioning and the physicality of baseball players is much different. And Oregon is a prime example of that. I mean, Oregon, every guy that came up to the plate seemed like for Oregon looks like he's mid-30s.
Could Pablo Sandoval function in 2026?
Ooh, that's a good question.
He couldn't function in 2015.
That is absolutely true. Man, talk about a guy that just kind of fell off.
Yeah.
But hey, he's got a World Series ring.
Oh,
he ate himself out of baseball.
You'll be all right. It's money well spent.
For who? Yeah, Pablo Sandoval is one of my. Oh, God, that's a trigger.
Pay Pablo, don't pay Mookie. Makes a lot of sense.
No, I just the front office and the ownership there. Just I love them so much. Your Twins just swept us this weekend. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, but you're about ready to make a monster trade. You're going to be fine.
I would love it. I would like to trade owners. Can we do that? Can that be the monster trade? Can they sell? Is that a thing?
Well, if you listen to any game at Fenway lately, you'll hear the fans share your sentiment, Ravi.
I mean, it is. I can't believe it. You looked at them on paper before the season started, and you're like, God, these guys are going to be good.
I thought they'd be okay. Yeah.
Like, they attacked the offseason, and now it's like, no.
Gary, this has nothing to do with anything, but my favorite thing. So they also own Liverpool, the team in England, right?
Yeah.
And there was a quote because Liverpool had a little bit of a disappointing year, and they're like, "We're going to spare no expense to get this thing back on track." And I was like, "Hey, keep that energy in Boston. Your ownership group is called the Fenway Group. It's not called the Anfield Group or Anfield Group. Like, come on, like priorities here, fellas. Like, let's go, lock in."
Yeah, well, you sent me damaged goods because Alex Bregman can't hit now, so.
Well, listen, it's the least we could do. That's like, oh God.
Is that 9 in a row for you, Sharp?
Why did you have to, like, when you said 9, like lean into that? Yes, it is 9 in a row. I mean,
really hard
but,
in there.
but to be fair, because I listen to you guys and you're sometimes fair about certain topics, they do have a double-figure win streak this season.
What a weird they're good though, right? Like that's a good baseball team.
Yeah, they just the injuries with arms is really complicating things, and they're not scoring runs. That's the bigger thing right now during this stretch is they're just not scoring runs. And Pete Carroll Armstrong, he's going through it right now. So I don't know. The Cardinals and Brewers are better than the Cubs, and that pains me.
Dude, how about Miz? What I see with
57 pitches over 100 miles an hour yesterday. Yeah. 57.
No, I still can't get over those uniforms they wore against the Dodgers. What a absolute travesty that was.
I forgot that's your uniform police.
Oh, I've grown out of that a little bit.
I saw a Dodgers hat yesterday at I went to like a store.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to give free shout outs. I was gonna say the name and we didn't get it's a bad day to be a hot dog hats at that store, Gary. So I got mine right here. So I didn't want to give him any free shout outs, but so I'm there and it's got the LA and then it's kind of got it's got a Dodgers D kind of circling and it was really cool. And I was like, DB is too much of a stickler. I'm not even going to send him a picture. That's stupid with the LA and the blue.
I feel like I'm getting a bad rap here, you guys.
Uniform
police. It is a deterrent. Like I'm getting better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like rehab. It's getting better. Don't take anything for granted. It may creep back up. But let me ask you, I want to go to college baseball here real quick because you're super well-rounded. I didn't love Kentucky. I get Coach Omar at Jackson State says nobody will play them now. He feels like they got snubbed. KP agreed with Jackson State. I'm worried about Carolina getting out of their own.
That's a tough regional.
It is, and they go through these deals where they can't score, but anything jump out at you is kind of sneaky. Arkansas is a 2. I imagine them; they're tickled.
Yeah, I think and then Missouri State's in that, so that's a little spicy. I love that Oregon State got sent to Eugene.
Ooh, yeah,
because those schools hate each other, and to knock off, and there's going to be some pressure on Oregon to get out of Eugene. They were on the cusp of getting to the College World Series not too long ago, and Oral Roberts went in there and won the Super. I think if you look at like North Carolina's draw, Tennessee's playing better. VCU is one not to overlook. I was a little bit surprised that Southern Miss got a 9. I think like from Nebraska's standpoint, a 13 seems right. And if you're a 13 seed, you don't expect a paved path to get to the Super. I mean, that number 2 is going to be difficult. Probably that number 3 is going to be a little bit spicy. So Nebraska as a 13 got the regional that I kind of expected them to. But other than that, I thought the committee did a really good job. Mercer was kind of interesting. They're in a conference that had a really good RPI. They had a really good RPI, but they don't get in. But for the most part, I thought the committee did a good job.
Do you worry at all about, or do you consider at all what you saw with Nebraska in the Big Ten tournament, or is that just like, hey, they don't play Oregon very well, you kind of move on from it?
Well, I think if there's a couple of things. If they're not going to get out of Lincoln, one will be a big time arm shuts them down, like happened on Saturday night. But you know what? Nebraska's a good team. I mean, they won 40 plus games. They finished second in the Big Ten that has the nation's #1 seed. They went 23-1 at home. Nebraska's good. Now they've got flaws. I mean, all the teams that are going to be in Lincoln have flaws. But I think they're, you know, when we first started this segment, Will was talking about his goal. Well, let's be a little bit greedy here. Not just hosting a regional. How about a run in the NCAA tournament? But they accomplished something when you're that good at home. And I think, guys, Nebraska is different at home than they are on the road. And it's not just the record. You look at the swag. You also look at the offense. It seems like they are more they have the more of an ability at home when they need to put up a big crooked number to rally. Now, I'm not saying they didn't do that like at Minnesota the last regular season weekend, but they just have there's a different vibe when they're playing at Haymarket. And you're 23-1, and I think this is where you have to take advantage of playing at home because the crowds will be raucous. I mean, we're at 7,700, 7,800 people will be in there. So take advantage of that. But I think it's going to be a fun weekend of baseball. And how about 3 straight weekends of big-time activity going on in that little complex?
I know, right? And I love they're such pros now at navigating the ins and outs of parking. Like, the stories are fantastic of when to get there, the routes to take. I'm like, you're kind of limited, aren't you? Oh, you're only limited by your creativity. I was like, I guess.
Do you still park in places where you can get out quick?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
a very Ravi, you know this now. That's a very savvy, like, talent that is not God-given. Of knowing where to park where you can get out quickly. Like, you navigate. Like, who else? We're talking about, well, who will Nebraska pitch against South Dakota State? Don't overlook the Jackrabbits. Oh, I can't wait for that 8 o'clock game because that's going to be, man, if you're a fan of college baseball. DB is like, well, you know, the parking. Like, can I sneak through the North Bottoms? You know, what am I going to do here?
That's like asking if he's still posted up in a corner of an arena somewhere at a high school game. It's like, yeah, he's still parking where he can get out as soon as possible.
Oh,
yeah.
It's fun.
Hey, some places you go to hide.
Were you tempted to go to Bricktown? Not really.
I mean, it's a great event. It's going to be don't you guys think we're very curious on the atmosphere because there's no OU and there's no Oak State.
So believe me, as the radio crew, because I kind of wanted to go to OKC, and I was talking with Jess, and it's like, I think everybody that wants tickets that was trying to get out ahead and guess the session, they were cheering against Oklahoma, right? Just because ticket availability would be a little easier, but they got the 8:30 time slot, so that worked out.
Yeah, I you know what? I think if you reseeded the 8, I think Nebraska is a favorite to win the national championship. I think Nebraska, Alabama, Texas would be my top 3 teams.
I think it's Alabama. Boy, how about that offense? They hit like they were playing slow pitch.
Yeah. Well, how about the sport? Do we have worries about the sport of college softball with the offensive explosion? I mean, you had 2 players that, you know, hit nearly 40 home runs this year.
So how far, like, you can't just redo all ballparks, but you do probably need to take a look at the logistics,
the dimensions of some of those
dimensions.
things.
Yeah. I mean, they're getting hit in the parking lot.
Yeah, some of those things are like clearing bullpens by like 50 feet. It's like maybe the fence isn't far enough back.
But the athleticism is at a high level.
Well, it's kind of funny too. I mean, not that long ago, I want to say 5-7 years ago, we were talking about how nobody could get any hits at all. And how it's like, well, we might get the pitchers are too overpowering. Do we need to move the mound back? Like all this kind of stuff. And now it's like, hey, we're hitting too many dingers. Like, am I missing? Like, what changed?
Sharpie, I'm consistent here. I'm convinced I still can't hit from 46.6. Remember, I used to go through those softball things. The way, as hard as they're throwing us, it's even more bleeding for you, boy.
But don't you, like Ravi, I think another thing, the athleticism, yes, because now it's become a year-round sport. But like the strike zone has shrunk. So you can throw and be nasty and throw Alexis Jensen or Jordy Fromm stuff. But man, if the strike zone is the size of a postage stamp, I mean, you're just asking to groove one, and the hitters aren't, the hitters are getting better, and it's not just the top 4 in the lineup. It's usually 1 through 9. But I think the strike zone has a little bit to do with this offensive explosion as well, because it seemed like it has shrunk over the last couple of years.
Unless you play for Texas Tech, then you get hit by pitches 5 times in a weekend. How wild was that?
Have we ever seen a softball player charge the mound? What would that look like?
I haven't.
I know how she did get back at him, though.
Yeah.
I think that one just landed. If it's 5 times in a weekend, like, you're not even trying to hide it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, the rivalry with what Texas Tech has done. The sport needs a villain, and they have Texas Tech. But they have a villain with a guy that the head coach that people are like, man, I'd love to see him get one. Yeah.
He's just all shucksy enough to, like, make you forget that roster's pretty expensive.
That roster costs what some football teams do.
Don't say that too loud.
Oh yeah, you ain't kidding.
I will say, if anybody was ever going to charge the mound in a softball game, I would bet on Jason Williams' daughter.
Yeah,
that man is about that life.
Yeah,
and she's tough.
Yeah.
Well, he was rather tough, and he was pretty tough not getting thrown out of Gainesville. Well, not just out of the stadium, but out of the city.
Briefly removed.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, I mean, there's things that are in common. Jason Williams and Trey Fromm.
So people sent us the clips. What was he doing?
He was having a good time supporting his wife and her teammates with the rest of his buddies.
I was like,
who also have a connection to that team. They were just, maybe the crotch chop was the thing that put it over the top. Because I think you can get away with some stuff out of the mouth, but once you go to the crotch, I think then it's probably you've crossed the line.
Yeah. Dude, it's just like I was like, wow.
Didn't he have like 1 foot up on the dugout? Like,
Yes.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, and they may or may not have been tailgating beforehand.
Yeah, may have had 1 or 2.
Allegedly.
But that's a sport like, and again, I think Haymarket Park will be an electric factory this weekend. It's just like softball and volleyball and the women's sports, especially on TV. And I think they relate well on TV because they're a confined area where on television, you can give a full glimpse of the emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And softball is so emotionally packed. Every pitch matters and the crowd matters. And there's always something happening. And that's kind of what you saw this weekend. But I also wonder, him supporting Jordy when she was at Oklahoma in the rivalry between OU and Oak State. I'm guessing that the Oklahoma State dugout, which had some issues with what he was doing, recognized him from, they knew who exactly that was.
Yeah, no Oklahoma, no Okie State. It's pretty wide open. I wish softball did reseed.
Yeah,
I mean, because what do you do with? I mean, Mississippi State just holds that slot.
Yeah, and now you're afraid of Mississippi State because you're like, whoa, they just went into Norman and 1-3,
and did it like holding that lineup down yesterday. I was like, whoa.
Well, and I mean, it seemed like every time that Oklahoma made contact, it was a pop-up.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't hitting a lot of balls hard, and you were throwing a pitcher who, was making her first start. I mean, it's just this time of the year. Guys, we have no Oklahoma in the Women's College World Series. We have no LSU or Vanderbilt in the NCAA baseball tournament.
What do you make of LSU?
I think they were hurt by not being able to get into the portal, because they were here in Omaha last year, and so they were a little bit late, and they also had some injuries. They had some key arms that went down, and I don't think they were built deep enough to overcome those. And then, they got into a rut, and they play in a conference where, man, if you're struggling, there aren't many, and you have opportunities to help yourself. But if you don't, you're going to get buried. And I think that's what happened this year. Plus, they didn't have that 1, 2, or 3 guys that when they came to the plate, you went, uh-oh, we're in trouble, like they had during the national championship run. So I expect them.
That athletic department.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, Will Wade, you love the lane train. You've never met a stranger. You'd lose your mind.
Hey, look at all the fun there. And now they got Coach O back.
Well, don't forget about Kim Mulkey.
I mean,
hanging out.
I mean, and Jay Johnson is a great guy, their baseball coach, but he gets after a little bit. I mean, he ain't afraid to run it. But it's perfect. It's perfect for that athletic department. I mean, can you imagine the all staff meetings?
Yeah, jeez. Yeah.
I mean, I think they probably invite Mike the Tiger and let him sit in the middle.
Hey, how about Sankey clapping back about, and listen, they don't want to lose the inventory. They're connected with the network. I mean, but Sankey, he may have division in his own conference.
Yeah. This will be interesting if he can, because he wants to keep the power, but the power resides in the Big Ten, where the money and the victories and the momentum all resides in the Big Ten. Like, Sankey has been in a position he's never been in before. And you're right. He's got a conference that they're going to 9 games. And if you're going to go to 9, you'd kind of like some expansion if you're a coach. I mean, the message that he is giving in Florida at their meetings this week may be contradicted by some of the bigger names in that conference, like a Kirby Smart, even a Lane Kiffin, of coaches that are looking at it differently. So he's in an odd position here. I wonder if he plays the 50-50. Okay, I'll give up something, but I'm going to keep this. Or if he goes in with the wishes of his conference, or if he goes in with the wishes of what he wants to keep.
I don't want to see 2014. I don't have to tell you. Like, I'm anti.
I mean, you don't want to see 12.
No.
You're a BCS guy.
Well, that's why you make that call. You don't want to see 24, do you?
No. And why can't we learn to play with 12 right now? But I know there's money, and I know there's people in the sport that run the sport that don't care about the sport, and they don't care what we think as fans. We're passionate about the sport, and I think there are people that in the sport think that one day college football can be the number 1 sport. It won't be behind the NFL, but there's things that are unique to college football that the NFL can't have. I just, you're asking for it. If you're going to go to 24 and you're a coach, what happens if you go on a 3, 4, 5-year run where you don't make the playoff?
Mm-hmm.
Yet you're in the Big Ten or the SEC, where it's kind of set up where you can be one of those 6. I mean,
you get quick zig.
Yeah, the timeline on what to do with a coach if he doesn't make the playoff, an expanded playoff at a school that invests heavily in football. I mean, there's a double-edged sword there of expansion, whether it's good for you as a chance to get into the playoff once every 4 years, or if you don't make it in 4 years, I mean, they could be on to the next head coach.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of you'd be in the same boat as they are in college basketball, right? Like you make 3 or 4 years without a NCAA tournament appearance. And I think I don't know if that's what they're trying to get to in terms of having the ratio be similar between playoff teams and total teams playing, and 24 gets you in the neighborhood of what basketball is. But going from 4 to 24 within like 5 years is insane, right? It took the NCAA basketball tournament, 40 years to get.
And it's watered down. I mean, 12 is 4 too many, like for consistent competitiveness, right? And that sport typically gets the national champion right. Like,
they do.
You don't have to. It solves itself. Like, you don't need more people. That's just. I mean, you've heard me say this since 2012, so this isn't new to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's about money. It's about access. If they expand to 24, where does Fox come in? Does everybody get to share in the playoffs? So then we have a discussion.
You have to introduce Fox.
Yeah. And then we have a discussion about, okay, does that make the tone around the sport better? Because Fox and ESPN talk about the entire sport instead of, I'm a Big Ten, I'm an SEC, we're going to fight. We talk about how great the sport is, which look in the NFL. Now now that there are more crossover games where CBS just isn't AFC, they get some NFC games, and Fox vice versa, is they talk about the sport as a whole, where you tune in on Saturday mornings before kickoff. It's one slant on one network, it's another slant on another network, and they're fighting instead of talking about how great the sport is and showcasing the great games, even if that's not your inventory.
So that's the only thing that I think is a possible positive of going to 24 is not having ESPN hold all the cards, right? Not having them be entirely in charge of the college football playoff, not having them be entirely in charge of this whole thing where if you know, because I was just talking to somebody the other day about how no one is really just sitting there and saying what's good for college football. Everybody's saying there, hey, what's good for the Big Ten? What's good for the SEC? What's good for my bottom line? Whereas if you get multiple parties involved, you almost have to say what's good for college football in order for everybody's bottom line to be lifted up. That's the only positive I see here.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Ravi. I think, you know, I mean, the sport, and you know, people might, again, I'm just looking at it. If we're going to 24 and it feels like it's a runaway car that you can't find the parking brake, is if you get to 24, you know, when you get there, what is the tone around the sport, and what does that do to the rest of the sport that doesn't get to be in the 24? Like if you're not in the 24, but hey, you get to go to a bowl game. I mean, we'll watch, but will we attend? Will we get excited about it? Will we see the benefits of it? You know, there's a lot to factor in here. Instead of just racing to 24, you have to consider some things along the way. But you can also convince me that 24 is great if I can have back my great September non-conference games and they're on campus, not taking it to a neutral site, giving me college football is on campus games. That's the appeal of the stadiums, the band, the atmosphere, the smells, all of those things. And where we've gone to this role of, yeah, we can get Clemson and Georgia to play, but I don't want to go between the hedges and I want to go to Death Valley. So let's go to Atlanta or Charlotte. No, that's not what college football is. But if you're going to tell me we're going to 24 and everybody is going to go, okay, we're back. We're going to go to Knoxville and we're going to have Tennessee come here. I would listen, but I don't feel like that would be something that would immediately happen.
I mean, rapid fire. Who wins the AFC North in football and the NFL?
Cincinnati.
Good pick.
Ooh.
You like what they did on defense? They get all 11 starters back on offense.
Now the caveat, yes, and the caveat is Joe Burrow staying healthy for 17 games.
Well, he had a weird presser the other day. Boy, he's not very excited, but he thinks they're. So this is the best roster I've had since I've been here. He's very like. I was like, very enthusiastic. Okay, who wins the AFC West?
Oh, come on.
Are you? So you're all in on the health and the new pieces. You did get the best DB in the draft, so I mean.
Well, and we fixed the running game, and I'll tell you, the pickup of Emmett Johnson is for that team and that offense and Eric Bieniemy. He is the ideal guy.
They are gushing over him.
Well, you think about what they've lacked. Emmett fills those roles. So what they lack, they got Kenneth Walker. He can take care of, explosive plays and a consistent run threat. I mean, look at how many times has Mahomes had 1,000-yard rusher since he's been the quarterback?
Not since his rookie year, and he wasn't starting.
So you get a two-headed running back where Emmett can do some things where it fills the role of Kenneth Walker. I just look at Eric Bieniemy being back. I think that's a big help.
Who wins the NFC East?
I will say that Philadelphia.
Who's the best candidate to go from worst to first?
I mean, you skipped the best division.
No, the West is tough. I can only put them on the hot seat. That division is a gauntlet.
Worst to first.
You got Atlanta, New Orleans.
So I like New Orleans. I like what they have done over the last year and a half.
Ooh.
Yeah. They might have it fixed there. It seems like they have less drama. They're really building that roster the right way. And I like the quarterback.
What about Cleveland?
Cleveland. What about Cleveland? Well, what do the analytics say? By the way, thanks for showing up.
Your boy is up there, man. It's like you don't think he ever gets it together.
Well, I mean, we used to be tight, but then you have to separate yourself when you have a little incident. So, Mr. Deshaun Watson, I don't know. It's been a while since he's played football.
And even longer since he's been in.
It just seems like with Cleveland, they have talent, but they have this history of dysfunction. So they're going to run into that. I mean, they're changing coaches. Do they have the right coach this time? Can they make the right decision at quarterback? I don't know. Myles Garrett got paid.
I would have moved him, to be honest.
Is there a right decision at quarterback? Like when those are your options?
How many number ones could you think they could have gotten for 30-year-old Myles Garrett?
I think at least I think 3 in his prime.
Right, you're not winning with him.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If you trade him away and you acquire assets, do you know what to do with those assets?
They haven't.
Yeah, I mean, that's like
that roster's pretty good.
It's like Brooklyn Nets having 5 first-round draft picks last year, and what good did it do them?
That's a great point.
Like, none of those guys are any good.
Hey, death taxes, and I still don't have a guy to cheer for on my favorite NBA team.
Oh no,
that's true.
So hard.
It's been tough on me, Sharpie. I'm cheering for Ohtani now. Like you don't feel bad for me?
No, because you had to put up with Dwight Howard in a Laker uniform.
Good point.
I'm just saying, no one's more miserable about his team acquiring superstars than Damon Benning. Not a soul.
That's fine.
That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true.
Could I have gotten a quarterback?
You don't like your one and done,
dude. The
riding off into the sunset.
Like, oh god, and I hate stuff like that. So it's like, we're gonna hear this all year, all year. It's gonna be fantastic. I can't wait.
Yeah. Hey, can we one quick thing here? I got a question about Nebraska football.
Okay.
The latest recruit, and I think it's impressive that Nebraska is. I love high school linemen, and that they're on a roll of 4 linemen in the class of 27. Couldn't that kid have waited yesterday? I felt like he stole the thunder from Nebraska baseball. They get announced as they're hosting, and all of a sudden the kid commits. I mean, read the room. You're a 4-star, and you're coming to play for a really good technician who is, I think, Geep Wade, and a great interview you guys had with him. I think Geep Wade attacks recruiting like he attacks coaching, which is not easy to do. I think that's a very interesting skill set if you can do both with guys that you're coaching and guys you're pursuing. If you have the same mindset, and it's showing in the results in recruiting, and I think it'll show in the results on the field. But young man, you got to read the room. I mean, this is spring sports. We're on a roll here. You could have waited until like noon to announce that you were committing because it was a big commitment.
We'll share that along. Like, couldn't you have just held your water a little while longer?
Yeah, hey, maybe what? Hey, go to the ocean. You're living in Georgia. Go to the ocean. Let's do it today. Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. Any 4-star linemen that want to commit can do it whenever they want. I'm cool.
Well, here's one thing I do like is that I think Nebraska is on this run of where we turn guards into tackles.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a tackle that turns into a guard, or Nebraska is recruiting legit like tackles where they're going to come into school and play tackle and stay at tackle.
Yeah, you can totally see the blueprint. And he's, between he and Teasley, there's an aggressive son of a gun, man. He literally is just like, I just don't enjoy taking no for an answer.
Yeah, I think Geep Wade is the best pickup in the offseason coach or player for Nebraska.
Really?
Well, so look at Nebraska has this. They have the greatest offensive line coach of all time, the late Milt Tenopir. Between Milt Tenopir and Geep Wade, and I'm not comparing Milt and Geep together, but I'm talking about, look at the list of offensive line coaches. How many offensive line coaches did Nebraska hire where their reputation followed them and players followed them because of their past reputation? It's in between. I think John Garrison was a good offensive line coach. I think Greg Austin could have been a good offensive line coach, but he was boxed in. And we could make a case from Mike Cavanaugh, heck, to Donnie, and they had certain things that they were good at, but what was above them. Did their head coach allow them to be an offensive line coach? Because you are in a state of 1.9 million people where everybody is an offensive line coach. But between Milt and Geep Wade and Tinsley, guys that they have a reputation, that players follow that reputation, and because that reputation and that body went to Nebraska. And I think that's big these days. I mean, you just put a first-round offensive line guy, and people know that. I mean, they go, okay, who is his offensive line coach? And if you're getting into the money, because money is a swayer, is that the thing that puts you over the top when you're trying to get a big-time offensive lineman that is your next NFL guy? Is because you've done it before. You're going to get paid, but you also are coming to play for a guy that's got a reputation.
And you saw Pritch get better with Coach Raiola. He's on the uptick. He now gets Coach Wade. He had a heck of an offseason. I don't know about first round or not, but he's got a chance to get another high-profile offensive lineman in the draft.
Yeah, and the best offensive lineman at Nebraska, actually, we talk about development a lot, actually might be the guy that is the poster child of development over a string of 3-4 years, and that's Justin Evans. Playing center. We kind of forget about centers, but we haven't talked much about Justin Evans because he's done what he's done. And I'm curious to see where he goes, because you were talking about Pritchett, DB, and his jump. What does Evans do? Because he can jump another playing in different kind of offense for a center. And maybe he'll also have a quarterback where when they're giving check calls, they're speaking the same language.
I see what you did there.
That is still ridiculous, by the way.
Well done.
That was a real thing last year. How does that happen?
How
is that not corrected?
Different pass protection, Sharpie.
Jesus.
That is Gary Sharp of the Omaha World Herald. Gary, appreciate the time as always. I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Hey, Ravi, do you want in this pool for the spelling bee?
I mean, only if my number one pick is available.
All right, male or female?
We'll go male.
Glasses or no glasses?
I'm gonna say no glasses.
Okay. How many vowels are in their first name?
Depends on what region of my country they're from.
Okay. And now parents originating country.
We're going to go with India, number 1 overall draft pick.
I've got it down. I will let you know tomorrow night if you are a winner.
Listen, we're on a good run for Indians. We had Rai win the PGA Championship. My guy Vasa Reddy had his first top 10 win at the French over Taylor Fritz. It's time, baby. It's our time.
Hey, back home again in India.
Motherland.
Thanks, guys.
All right, buddy. That is Gary Sharp. We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
It's time for Stars, Stripes, and Savings at Edwards Hyundai. Lease the 2026 Hyundai Palisade SE all-wheel drive starting at $339 a month. Big savings to start May right. 2 great Hyundais, 1 big May event. Let's go. We've also got the 2026 Hyundai Elantra SE. Sign and drive for $0 down starting at $249 a month. Don't wait. Get in on Stars, Stripes, and Savings this May at Edwards Hyundai.
listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We're presented by Next Gen Male Medical. DB, I have a very important question to you that was posed to me.
I don't believe a word that you're going to say after that.
By
being very important.
One Action Jackson Jimmy Neutron.
All right. What did Neutron say?
Okay, so this is a little bathroom talk, so just brace yourself here. All right. So he asked.
Wait, you guys were in the bathroom?
No, it's talk about the bathroom, not in the bathroom.
Okay.
All right. So you asked him on the way out how many breaks we'd taken.
Yes.
And I said 3, and he said 2.
Correct.
And he goes, we've taken 2. We're taking our 3rd. And I go, yeah, 3. And he goes, okay, if somebody asked you how many times you've pooped this week, that's not what he said, but I'm going to clean it up for our audience. And he goes,
he's got a potty mouth.
And you go, you've done 2. He's like, do you count the one you're currently taking? And I go, yeah, that's 3. And I go, once turd hits toilet, you're on 3.
I'm inclined to agree.
See, thank you. That's all. So
and I'd let you get away with leading me into that.
Yeah.
So I have to like parse through what you want me to say, because you
can say whatever you want. I just wanted to know if I was on my own here. Like once my cheeks are on the seat,
if
I'm on
somebody
number 3.
yelled at me and they're like, "Hey, are you in the bathroom again?" That's 3 times. Like they're not waiting till I'm done.
Yeah, that was a very vocal
I could hear him
conversation,
yelling. BLT was back there like, what is going on? I go, that's just Jimmy Neutron.
I'd put earplugs in on that.
Just talking about poop again.
So is Austin your least favorite? Sasha barely talks.
No, Austin's fine.
Rico talks a little. Neutron's not afraid.
He's not afraid.
Rico talks the most on air.
You think?
Yes. Rico talks more than Austin on air.
No.
Yeah, I think he does.
Ask the no.
Yeah.
Who do you think we hear Rico's voice more than
when they're in that chair? 100%. Now, Austin, if he's not here, is more likely to chime in than
you mean if he's in his
if he's in
office?
if he's in his office or if he's not like in Omaha.
Yeah, but he's always here.
He's
almost.
more likely to chime in. But if he's in that chair, Rico's talking more.
My least favorite when the chair's empty.
Really?
Yeah.
He doesn't like being by himself.
That's
I would rather have somebody here.
You've been by yourself almost your whole life.
Hey, now.
I mean,
in terms of producing.
I thought you liked peace and quiet. I'm sorry.
I do like peace
Austin,
and quiet.
you okay?
I did. It sounded weird, but I was just talking about work.
I like all 3 of them.
Are you ever nice to any of us?
Oh, yeah. What'd you call about last night? You called at like 9:30. I called you right back. You didn't answer. I was like, all right, I guess he's fine.
What did I want?
I was feeding the dogs. I was like, hey, sorry, I missed your call. And then I didn't get anything back.
Well, I had to take a quick. So, you know what I was going to try to shoot for?
What?
But I was like, we could probably get it with Sharp. I wanted to talk to Ben.
Oh, Benny Mac?
Yeah.
We could talk to him tomorrow.
No, I mean,
I like talking to Ben.
I mean, he'd be good at capping the regional because he obviously has to prep for the broadcast.
Yeah, let's get him later this week.
But then I was like, that's kind of overkill. So
today it would have been a lot.
So I 86'd it. Plus, I had to quickly count, and I knew that would be 5, and you ate 4.
No, 4.
So okay. I knew 5 would have been
5's
pushing
it. 5's a lot of guests.
Dude, you don't like 4 guests.
3 is my number. 3 is my magic number. That's the number I like.
Well, I said, oh my gosh, we got 4 guests today. He's going to be crabby.
I didn't say anything about it.
Yeah, I knew he'd want to catch up from over the weekend, and we
still haven't talked about the Knicks, which I'm sure Rico's really mad about.
I like sports. 5 guests.
You like 5?
Yeah, then you can get your breaks in.
He just doesn't like our downtime because then he knows he's going to catch some strays.
These are the quick.
What?
You think? No, we don't.
If the more downtime we have, the more non-guest time we have, the more everybody's on the table.
Yeah, that's never good.
5 would be a lot.
That's how we get things like meat bender, is when we don't have enough guests.
Did you see my man Husker Gnome kind of figured it out?
He did. Is apparently
I think
another
the
name
term
for
is
a
fine.
meat.
You guys almost shamed me off of it. But
Listen, you can go on meat benders whenever you want, man. It's cool.
I did go on a meat bender. Did you not see my rib roast?
Damon, are you familiar with the television show Avatar: The Last Airbender?
That was part of the definition.
That was
Husker
that's
gave
his
us.
picture.
That's when you use the term meat bender in that sense, I get very concerned. I don't want to know what kind of hand movements and placements you have to do to just be bending meats at your own will.
You think he talks the least when he's in that room? I didn't need any of that, to be honest. What is wrong with you?
I'm gonna be honest. I think bending meats is worse than meat bender, Austin.
Let's not act like you guys have never had any curvature. Gonna need you guys to knock it off. He's a child.
I think our friends at Next Gen Male Medical can help with that, though.
I'm not even messing with you.
Give them a call, 402-614-9700.
What do you mean?
Exactly. Exactly. I don't even understand.
There's benefits to being ambidextrous.
Is that what they call it? Snoo.
TK, we haven't even gotten offensive linemen yet.
TK's furious.
He's like, where are my damn linemen? We talked about it with.
Is TK not putting anybody in jail today?
Well, he was here in the first hour. He was upset that
again. Probably somebody innocent that he's going after.
Yeah, somebody. He's probably like, yeah, I'm not a murderer. I just have rubber gloves in my trunk, and you don't want to check my Netflix
Did
queue.
you see somebody in the Discord when I sent the vacuum seal deal and they sent me the picture from Dexter?
Yes.
It's like, that's pretty quick. That was well played.
Coming up next, we got Jessica COODY from Husker Radio Network. That's DBM Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's time for Stars, Stripes, and Savings at Edwards Nissan. Lease the 2026 Nissan Rogue Platinum starting at $349 a month. A platinum lease for less this May. 2 Nissans, 2 great deals. Only at Edwards. We've also got the 2026 Nissan Pathfinder SV starting at $399 a month. Another win for May. Don't wait. Get in on Stars, Stripes, and Savings this May at Edwards Nissan.
Take in this moment here from Burke, kind of your final time here?
Yeah, I mean, just like we've been here so many times, like it feels like like it's crazy it's my last, and just like taking it with my team, getting that state championship as a team, and just taking it all in.
How fun has this been, just this Kearney Catholic ride, and seeing the girls track program go back to back to back now, and kind of paired with yours and Alyssa's successes?
Yeah, I mean, I think like Alyssa and I obviously like we have a lot of things going on, like all the events and whatever, but like behind the scenes, like there's like people in every event putting in all the work. We've got girls all over the place scoring, getting those little points, and they all come together and make something big.
Obviously, Kearney Catholic has stayed uber competitive, but you just keep coming back with gold medal after gold medal. How do you keep yourself motivated, not only in the meets, but year after year?
I kind of remember like everyone wants that gold medal. Everyone's gunning for it. Like, I can't sit around and let someone else take it. Like, I've got to go get it if I want it.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Runner at first, 2 outs. Jordy Fromm with a 1-2. Godwin swings, and they appeal to first. They rule. She went around. Strike 3, and Nebraska is going to the Women's College World Series in 2026.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Mail Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Jessica COODY from the Husker Radio Network. Jess, how are we doing this morning?
Good morning. How's it going? First, let me start off by congratulating Rico on the Knicks.
It's it was a good run for them. It's a good series for them. How are you feeling right now after Game 4? Are you doing okay?
Hang on.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. I want to stay with Rico just for a second.
All right.
Jess, are you kind of like in kindred spirits with Rico because of his softball affinity, or is it just a hoops thing?
Yeah, no, we've seen Rico a lot here the last couple of weeks. Kyle, we were setting up doing a live show, so we chatted with him a little bit, and so we've seen him a lot here. And he was at the track dedication, so he's basically been living in Lincoln here recently, or at the Husker, all the Husker facilities. So.
God, everybody's nice to Rico.
Listen, he's very likable until you get to know him.
Wow.
That's not true.
I know. I've known him for a long time.
And she hates a bully, so you better knock it off.
Listen, I'm the reason Rico's here. All right, everybody can relax.
Anywho,
Jess, how you feeling about your Thunder? You guys are a little banged up.
No, okay, because you come back from San Antonio, tying the series, so that's what you needed to do. You needed to steal one after they stole one in Oklahoma City. So shot the ball horribly, and it wasn't like it was anything. I don't think it was anything defensively. I thought they got some good shots. They just shot it horribly. And I think we'll see. I thought, my brother and I were talking about this during the game, that they'd played so long without Jalen Williams, and then when he got hurt and they played game 3 without him, and it seemed like the spacing went back to it seemed like it was more comfortable. So I don't know, we'll see moving forward. Definitely he's a big piece that you're missing out on, but they just got comfortable playing without him. So we'll see moving forward, but I just think it was, look, Thunder played really well and kind of dominated them in Game 3, and then the Spurs took Game 4, but the Thunder have home court for a reason, and so now you got to take care of business on the home court, and it's back to being a series that favor the Thunder in terms of having home court advantage. So you did what you needed to do going to San Antonio in the 2 and take one, and now you come back home. So I'm fine. They shot it uncharacteristically on last night or Sunday night.
I think I'm more worried if you're missing both Jalen Williams and AJ Mitchell. That's where I start to get a little concerned, because I think you need the extra shot creator.
Yeah. Hopefully, again, they'll figure it out. They're deep. They have some depth. So, I like the way that they're able to play a little bit of chess. So we'll see. Again, we'll see how they can figure it out, and maybe have some different game plan going into this one. But it's tough. They are banged up, but you always have SGA, and I always believe they have a chance when you have SGA. As long as he's not hurt, we got a chance.
When are you leaving officially?
Tomorrow.
Okay. Will you be there in enough time to be in front of the television by 7:30?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Because God, that's a lot going on. You're in essence the mayor coming back to your old stomping grounds. You got softball and your Thunder. Like, is that city? Are they ready, or how did they catch a break without two of the Oklahoma teams? One in which you kind of called are not in attendance for the World Series.
Well, Oklahoma State has never really had, I mean, everybody makes it, Oklahoma State's not there, but OU has dominated Oklahoma State's representation there at Oklahoma City. Always has. Like, do Oklahoma State, do they show up, their fans? Yes, but it's nowhere near what Oklahoma does. So I would say that it's basically the same what Oklahoma State does to what Texas does. To me, like how Texas shows up. Texas usually has a pretty good following there, but just because Oklahoma State's not there, it doesn't mean like it's going to be whoa. I mean, I think it's more that Oklahoma's not there than Oklahoma State. I mean, I think it's going to be pretty wild down there. I was talking to somebody, the fact that the Thunder are playing at the same time as Nebraska's coming back to Oklahoma City, going to be pretty wild. Although I don't think it'll be as crazy as what it was with the basketball team, just because the fan base is going to be split a little bit with Nebraska getting host the regional. But they played at the same time all season long at home, and both ballparks were packed. So there will still be a great showing. It's not going to be as crazy, I don't think, but there's certainly going to be a great showing. And I also have been asked the question a lot about, will Nebraska kind of be the home team now? And I do think so. I do think Nebraska will have the biggest showing of all the fan bases, because I've been asked a lot, like who kind of shows up, and certainly Texas will have a good showing. And like I said, and Texas Tech had a decent showing last year just because that was their first appearance. And boy, they've got a lot of invested into this team. And they paid to win a national title this year. And, the reason why there's so much animosity for Texas Tech is they kind of poached some players, and they did it before the season was even over. And so a lot of the SEC teams boycotted playing Texas Tech. So that's a team that's better than being the 13 seed. But their RPI wasn't good because nobody would play them, because teams boycotted playing them. So they didn't have a very good strength of schedule. And so, I think probably Florida was pretty mad to see Texas Tech coming their way, because that they probably deserve to be in a top 8. But the fact that their RPI and everything else kind of drug them down. But I mean, I think they're the most hated team in college softball in just 1 year, because last year they were the darling. But the way that they went about it, they stacked their roster before the July 1st deadline. So they paid everybody before it started getting tracked. They poached a lot of players to be able to build this team. So they probably will have a decent showing, but they're going to get booed a lot, I can tell you that. So there won't be a lot of fans outside of the Texas Tech fans for them. And I think a lot of the Oklahoma fans will turn their favor towards Nebraska, because they're big fans of Jordy Ball now from. And so, a lot of Oklahoma fans have been messaging me, texting me, responding to some of my posts about, turning their their loyalty to Nebraska, because they love Hannah Core and they love Jordy Fromm. And so I think a lot of the Oklahoma fans, it's kind of like, I've been explaining this as kind of what Omaha and the World Series is here, is what the Women's College World Series is to Oklahomans. There will be Oklahoma people that live in Oklahoma that will come to this event because it's been there, and they like to represent it. They like to support the event. I mean, I went to it a lot, whether Oklahoma was there or not. Now, then once I started working for OU, I went 8 of the 9 years I worked there. And so I was there the 1 year that they didn't make it here in the last several in the decade, or I guess 15 years. But, there's a lot of fans that will still go and support the event in Oklahoma. And a lot of them will turn their loyalties to Nebraska, because I think there's a respect there between the programs. It's not a hated rivalry like a lot of them. And then a lot of them are very, very appreciative of what Jordy Ball at the time did for the program. And they love Hannah Core. So I think there will be a lot of Oklahoma fans that will be rooting for Nebraska. So I definitely think they'll be the home team, if you will, now that Oklahoma is out of it.
So too quick. Well, I would get to Oklahoma not being there in a sec. Let me go back to Texas Tech not being very well received. Do you remember a broadcast or something like what happened with Texas Tech in Florida, where you go to your analyst and they're talking about giving context to how many times someone has been hit by a pitch relative to how many times they've been hit by pitches during the season, right? Obviously, she'd been hit 4 times in the regular season, 5 in the series. And it was weird to hear on a broadcast where it's like, hey, I think we need to understand and give this context in terms of how many times she's been hit. I don't really remember broadcasts bringing, I mean, I appreciated it. It did need context, but like you're painting, you're basically saying, hey, listen, what they're doing isn't right. You pick sides if you want to. We're just going to tell this as it is. Like, I was surprised that they made mention specifically about how many times she had been hit.
Look, and that's part of the bad blood. I think that some of those conversations might have been taking place before they probably should have last year. But I will say this: if you notice on a lot of the social media platforms, there's some pretty big name players coming in defense of Florida about, like Sierra Romero, for example, went through this big long spiel about how those were competitive pitches. It wasn't like they were just nailing her. And, the game plan was go inside with her. And because, she obviously can hit it. And so it was kind of, again, the game plan to try to not let her beat you. And so, she's kind of making it like it wasn't about let's go in and intentionally hit her all the time. It just was missed. It's crazy to think that they missed that much, but it sounded like that was the game plan: go inside and not let her hit right down the middle of the plate, because when they did give that to her, she hit home runs. That's what Kyle was talking about. Obviously, he knows her. She was on the team he called last year when he was, broadcasting for Florida at this time. And, same thing. He knows the Florida staff. He knows them well. And so I think it's kind of been crazy what you're hearing on the broadcast with the A team, if you will, for ESPN, and the fact that Holly Rowe is talking about what the mom, Mia's mom, is putting on her social media. But if you kind of take a deep dive into what the former players in college softball and some that are probably playing for Team USA in the Olympics in a year or 2 years, and that have been some of the biggest names in our sport over the last few years, kind of coming in defense for Florida and just saying that, they're just not wanting her to beat you. And so they're trying to put it in an area that's really hard to hit consistently every time. And so it's, I don't know. I mean, I'm not technically an expert on softball. I didn't play it, but it's just been interesting kind of how far this has gone. I just think there's a lot of emotion in that series and just the history between the two. And but yeah, it's been crazy just how much that has stirred up here over the last few days. But I'm not sure. What's crazier to me is what they did with Nyjah and the pitching, how they just would sub them in every other batter. And I think that's got to change. That should not be allowed, that you could just basically go from one pitcher to the next every other batter.
Yeah, it won't be long, right? I mean, Major League Baseball finally got a handle on it, the amount of batters a reliever's got to see. And yeah, I do. If not, just for pace of just
pace of play.
Because it's a beautiful sport to watch on television. That's the last thing that you want to see as part of the gamesmanship is every other hitter. Let me ask you something. I know humility says you weren't an expert in softball, but you did, especially in our group chat. I know we were cheering for Mississippi State, but that was for a multitude of reasons, just Nebraska's slot and where they could play on television and stuff like that. But you didn't love the love that OU was getting, right? You're like, look, DB, I don't know about the arms, the staff. They rake. Not sure about the pitching depth. You're probably one of the few people that aren't what I would call surprised by the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, to me, what's the difference between OU and UCLA?
Oh, offensive. Yeah, good point.
And their pitching, you know, I would argue that maybe UCLA has better pitching, but it's just because Oklahoma has been there, which means so is UCLA. But it's just the love for Oklahoma. I think they got the benefit of the doubt, even though they didn't have the pitching. And I think a lot of people, you know, I mean, I've talked to a lot of people about it, even behind closed doors about that, and they've been dominant in pitching. But the last couple of years, I guess 2 or 3 years, really since Jordy left, that has not been a strength of theirs, and they have been able to hit it really well, and that's kind of kept them in things. But this past year, it's kind of caught up to them a little bit. And while they went on a streak there where they had an impressive streak on this stage, and this, when you get to the postseason, you've got to have both. You've got to be complete teams to be able to make those runs that they've been able to make consistently over you know, the period of time that they've been able to make. And I just think that this has been probably the weakest that the pitching has been for them, and they've been able to out hit somebody. But then you have somebody that comes in, you know, like Mississippi State, that has just a pitcher that's just on one day, and you can't hit her. What do you do? You know, so I have been just a little confused why they've gotten more love than UCLA, when at one point UCLA had better numbers than Oklahoma. And they've got, you know, when you give all this love to one player, and then you got another player that's got better numbers than her, you know. So I don't know. It just kind of maybe the OU effect. And look, I have a lot of respect for that program. I covered them for so long, which is why, you know, when I got here, I was all in on softball because I've been wired to do that for so long at OU. And so, you know, so a lot of respect. I still have a lot of friends that, you know, the director of operations has been a dear friend of mine for a long time. So not trying to, you know, bash them. To me, my perspective was, why were they getting so much love when UCLA was basically a carbon copy, you know?
Let's talk about Nebraska softball here for a second. There was, I think, some hand-wringing after the regional about the bats and maybe them not facing the level of competition in the regular season with the Big Ten that they needed to be ready for postseason. And then all of a sudden they go from regionals to super regionals, and the bats are not an issue. 17 runs in 2 games. Was that to you an adjustment they made from regional to super regional, or we just made too much about what we saw in the regional?
I think they were a little fatigued after the travel to end the season, and then, you know, going through the Big Ten tournament and then turning around. And I just think, you know, maybe a little bit not overwhelmed, but just taking in the first round of the regional, facing, you know, some good pitching. And even Coach Ravel said that, you know, some different kind of pitching. And then, you know, what she had said to me too is that they had some close ball games that they hadn't really been in. And even going back to last year, they kind of rolled through the regional at LSU. And then they weren't maybe as comfortable at being in those close games when they went to Tennessee. And so what was great about the regional is that the more that they went along in the regional and the close games that they were in, the more comfortable they got in those. And so I think that will pay dividends, hopefully moving forward into the Women's College World Series, because you very well may be in some close games that could help you in being comfortable in those kinds of situations. So I think once they got home and they were able to be home, we had chatted with Diane Miller, the hitting coach, before we were going to go live out there in Sports Nightly. And she just kind of talked about the week that they had. They had a really good week. Look, this team studies like crazy. They're a mature group, and they know what it takes to kind of dive back into the lab. They had seen Ruby before, Ruby Malin. And while they might not have had as much success as they did over the weekend, they had a lot of film to study, and they had a lot of film to study of themselves going up against her. And she might have run out a little bit of gas going into this one, as we heard Kenny Gajewski say following that win, is that they rode her really hard to get there, you know, with the amount of the load that she had to take on, not just in the postseason, but even in the regular season. If she wasn't pitching, Oklahoma State really wasn't as good at all. And so, you know, she probably was a little out of gas, but also, you know, I think credit to the Nebraska hitters. They got in the lab and they didn't lose the confidence. They just stuck to the plan. And then they were able to really get it going. So I think it was nothing, and we kept saying that, and I think the team kept saying that. It was uncharacteristic because we got so used to seeing, you know, there's the high-powered offense from Nebraska. But look, it was one weekend, and they worked through it, and they didn't panic, and so they were able to kind of get back to it. And it's just kind of part of softball. You might have some games where you don't. It's just not characteristic, and then you kind of work through it, you get back to it, and then you get back to what things are normal, if you will. So it's just, I mean, it's the same thing with baseball too. And I think we talked about maybe comparing it a little bit to what happened at Ohio State. It's not what you're used to seeing from that team either, but I think they were able to kind of settle in, get some rest, get back to the normalcy of being at home, studying what they normally do. And then they were able to kind of get back to feeling, I think, really confident at the plate, and they stuck to the game plan, and boy, it showed last weekend for sure.
Hey, one of the reasons I like talking to you is just because you have some insight and some feel for this softball team. Like, you know, things that most people don't. And when you're watching these guys or gals, excuse me, and it was intentional, right? They didn't want Alexis overexposed. Coach Ravel told us, "Hey, listen, we want to quiet the noise." You had the fantastic interview with her early, and remember I was telling you, like, oh God, you know, you bring out her personality, and she has to kind of keep it under wraps. They've kind of slow rolled this in the postseason. She pitched her tail off again. You can appreciate it probably more than most because they played the long game with her. They didn't get into the hoopla and all that other stuff when kind of from the outside in, it would have been easy to gravitate. They kind of protected her, let her ease and grow into this role. And now she may be re-hitting her stride. Pretty cool because it was intentional on Coach Ravel and that staff's part, right?
I actually think they haven't been scared at all. I mean, they embraced, people were doubting, why aren't you getting somebody to go along with Jordy? Because you could argue maybe she had to take on too big of a load. And Coach Ravel knew, they all knew what they had coming in Alexis Jensen. And she started the first game of the season. She pitched against Texas. She got the ball against Texas
like
Tech.
From a media availability, like.
Oh, yeah. And so I think, you know, she got to kind of ease into it a little bit. They didn't let her hit for a while, even though we know she can hit. And then when she started to maybe have a couple of not, I guess, little uncharacteristic outings towards the end of the season, they you know, kind of again took the bat away from her for a few games, and then you know, now she's back to hitting again. And so I think, you know, again, they've known they've been just fantastic at managing her. But they haven't, you know, tried to keep her in a box either. They've let her be her. And I think you see it with how she is able to fully display her personality when she's in the circle. Like, you know, when she gets ready to pitch and she does the kind of jump and then she does the shimmy and all of that. And boy, she struts around the circle. And, you know, they haven't tried to pull her back. What? No, I'm not going to do that again. But, you know, they allow her to be her, you know, and I think that's been so important, and the team embraces her and she keeps it light. I think her and Jordy have just been the perfect match. And, you know, I've said this for a few months now, but you think about it, and I think Jordy has addressed this in terms of just her being able to appreciate the game a little bit more, and how much of a blessing it was for her to have to sit out. And after she tore her ACL, her very first season with Nebraska, but if she didn't tear her ACL, she wouldn't have been able to have this season, even just with Alexis Jensen, you know, the duo of the two together. And so how important that will be for Alexis moving forward. And just, I think how much we've seen Jordy really thrive and having somebody like Alexis backing her up, but she's been able to be in the closer role. So I think it's been magical to see the two work together. And I think the way that this team has embraced Alexis, because I mean, they have a bunch of different personalities, but Alexis has a huge one, and they love her. They embrace her. But yeah, they've been just excellent in how they've managed everything about her, and, you know, just letting her be her. And I think that it's just, you know, the way that we've had Coach Ravel on before going into the Big Ten tournament, and she talked about, we know we need Alexis to do what we want to do. It's not just about getting to the Women's College World Series. They want to go compete for a national. They've got to have two. They've got to have both of them at their best. And so while Alexis is not afraid of anything, she's not afraid of the moment. She's ready for the moment. She's a competitor. You still got to have that experience. And so they've been able, they threw her out there the first game of regional, the way that she handled the second game against Oklahoma State. they put her in some big time situations. And, in the Big Ten tournament, she was just excellent as well. So she's kind of hitting, I think, her best right now, which is what you want. And so I think they've, again, it's been a season of preparing for this moment. And from the start, and really going back to last year when they got bounced at this moment, this time a year ago, they've been preparing for this time now. And they've just, again, just gone with the process. They've accepted it. They've embraced it. And so now this is why they are so ready for this. And it's not just about getting there. It's about going on even a more special run. And everybody, it's been so strategic for everybody, but especially Alexis Jensen, because they know they're going to need her to, again, make this run here in Oklahoma City.
Let me ask you something. In a format like this, we've watched this a long time. And I think Tennessee probably comes the closest. And Tennessee and Texas Tech, obviously, with Nebraska, with a 1-1A punch on the mound. At this stage, where you're at in the season, would you rather take the pitching depth or the explosive offenses in a tournament format like this at the Women's College World Series?
If you've seen the winners bracket, it's you're kind of okay with just one pitcher, but that's when you go to the losers bracket, you got to play every single day. Then the one pitcher gets really, really hard. I mean, you got to be a complete team. It's hard to pick one over the other. And that's where I think when you start stacking up the teams, and I'm not being biased in this or a homer, but I think you could say that Nebraska is the most complete team going into this thing. And while there might be more explosive offenses, I don't think you could say there's a better duo of pitching. There might be one pitcher that might have better stats going into this, but I don't know. Jordy just finds a different level in this stage. She's been there, she's done it. And and they do have the bats. So the defense is really good. The outfield has been spectacular. Sammy Bland's not getting enough credit for what she's done at third for just moving over to there. She's never played third in her life, and that's not an easy position to play in softball. I talked to her dad a long time this weekend, and she just moved over there. Talk about an athlete, and so she's been so comfortable over there. So yeah, I mean, I think defensively, your pitching, offensively, your leadership, your the maturity of this team, the fact that you do have a pitcher like Jordy Fromm that's been there, that's done that. Hannah Core. I've been saying this. Nobody's been listening. I don't feel like people have been listening to me, but I've been saying this for a month, how important she's been and just her leadership, her swag. What?
Longer than that. But at least to me, right?
Yeah.
It was important to you because of, and you hear it in Coach Ravel. It's like, how somebody like that can fly under the radar. I get it, right? But you guys, the two of you know maybe better than anybody, they can encapsulate her level of importance. You have shouted that from the mountaintops.
Yeah. So, I just think having those two that have the experience of winning multiple national titles. And so, the list goes on. And while you got to go do it, it's not easy. It's easier said than done. You have to go on the run and you have to put it all together. But on paper going into this thing, Nebraska is one of the favorites, and they are the most complete team going into it. And, and they believe, they absolutely believe, and they're ready for it. So they're not just satisfied and getting there. And so I think, you have to put it all together. That's the thing and you have to kind of do the things you have to do on this stage. But, going into this, I think, and I've had a lot of teams that I've covered that, had kind of what it takes to go through this run. And, some of them have just rolled through it, no problem. And some of them have had to take, some different paths. But I've been a part of teams that have gone on to win national titles at Oklahoma. And I certainly have the same feeling about this Nebraska team as some of the teams that I've covered that have gone on to win national titles.
Last one from me. You're missing the 3 seed and the 6 seed, obviously. And Mississippi State doesn't have a number. Texas Tech is got to be the best double-digit seed in a long time. If you could reseed, I know you talked about Nebraska's completeness. Who do you think's the most misrepresented? UCLA's an 8, Tennessee's a 7. You've talked about Texas. If you're going to reseed, Who's probably the most misseeded with how they're playing to you, at least?
It's funny, like I always, Carlin Pickens is another one of those pitchers that always kind of worries you. Just, I mean, she's so good. But I was texting with my cousin Harley, and she's like, "But they can't hit." So I don't know. I mean, I just, I don't know. But I just think, if you get her at her best, she is tough. She's tough to hit. So I think maybe they're better than a 7, but if she's not pitching, are they better than a 7? So that's what's tough is like, who do you have on the mound or in the circle that do you, that's, I think that kind of changes things a little bit. Texas has been there. They've done it. Have they had some moments where they do not look like the number 1 team or the number 2 seed or whatever? But
out for Arizona State, as you know, I was like, come on, Sun Devils.
Yeah. But look, Nebraska's beat Texas.
Yeah.
So they have that in the back pocket that they beat this team. And so, UCLA kind of the same thing. Nebraska's beat them multiple times. I think they'll have that in the mentality, although UCLA could be like, hey, we got them this time. But I still think Nebraska is a better team than UCLA. I'm not sure just because Mississippi State beat OU, is that why they're getting so much love? Just because they beat OU?
Yeah, I get it.
Are they that good, or just because they beat OU?
All right.
So I don't know.
Safe travels. I'm a little jealous. You get to spend, I think Matt Smith is one of the better kept gems.
Yeah.
on that the SID staff. He's a treat. So enjoy Nate the Great. And was there anything more Coach Ravel like than saying she was doing laundry? She's like I'm like, that's got to be the most Coach Ravel thing ever.
She is just enjoying every moment and they're all doing everything the same. And that's another thing that makes you really comfortable and confident in this team, is that they're not doing anything different. One more quick thing on Jordy is what I asked Olivia Farrell the other day about her. Like, she's so consistent, and it's not like what allows her to elevate is like she does this all season. So then it's not like she's doing anything more or pushing her. She just gets there because it's what she's done all season. So I think a lot of times when you get to this stage, people try to do more or try to go out of their element, and Jordy's been there all season. And so I just, I just think they've got all the elements, they got the pieces. So you just got to go do it now. So I'm excited. And yeah, it's one of my favorite events. I've been able to cover it a long, long time. I've watched it my whole life, or not my whole life, but since for a long time, it's a special event to me. And so now I get to cover Nebraska there and go back home. It's, I don't know, it doesn't get Sweet 16 for men's basketball and the Women's College World Series. I don't know if a spring could get any better than this for me.
And your Thunder are playing. The mayor comes back to OKC, and her favorite teams are. Hey, life is good. Simba Charm life.
Life is good. Life is good.
Well, Rico's going to be down there in OKC as well. So
I think he's leaving today.
Yeah, you be nice to him, okay?
Not a problem with Rico. You two, sometimes, got to put you in line. Shane and Rico, not a problem. Austin, too. I like Austin as well.
No way. Are you being serious?
Let's go.
Make the cut.
I am so pro Thunder now. I am all the way in.
Oh,
Let's go.
Jeez.
All right.
All
Bye,
right.
Shane.
That is Jessica Coody from Husker Radio Network. Bye, Jess. We're going to take a quick break here. We've got Luke Fox from Sportsnet coming up next to talk a little NHL. Playoffs still roaring and underway. We will get to that next here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's time for Stars, Stripes, and Savings at Edwards Chevrolet. Save $12,000 off MSRP on the 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 RST, a truck deal worth celebrating. 2 Chevys, 2 ways to save. This May only. We've also got the 2026 Chevrolet Trax 1RS starting at $299 a month. Don't wait. Get in on Stars, Stripes, and Savings this May at Edwards Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
For Borsheim's and Hurrdat Sports, I'm here with Bubba Day, pitcher and hitter, played both sides today. Have you had a chance to just come off the emotions of that game? It was obviously back and forth.
No, I actually can't even believe it. I mean, there was 2 outs left in the last inning, and we found a way to do it, which is, I mean, I believed in us both. I was like, wow, we really did it. So it's super cool, and I don't even think it's set in yet what we actually did. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah, and to do that with your dad, too, just kind of talk about sharing this special moment with him.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it all year going into it. Like, we wanted to win a state championship, and that's what we did. So getting to hug him after the end of the game was something I'm never going to forget.
Let's kind of talk about your performance. You were 3 for 4 today. No bigger hit than that last hit, right?
Yeah,
what were you looking for? What was your approach coming into that at bat?
I mean, I knew there was 1 out, so I just knew I had to put the ball in play somewhere deep, get the guy in from third, and he left one over the middle, and I was able to do my job.
Also, doing it on the other side, pitching too.
Yes, sir.
Did you know that you were coming into that, and how were you kind of preparing?
I mean, we had to tie it up for me to come back in, and we tied it up. So once we kind of scored that last run, I was pumped up. I was ready to go. So super exciting.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Maintains control of the puck. Svechnikov, cross ice, Jarvis. Back out, shot by Svechnikov. Score! The Carolina Hurricanes take game 3.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Luke Fox of Sportsnet to talk a little NHL. Luke, how are we doing this morning?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys?
I'm okay. I'm a Pens fan, so I've had to adjust. I'm curious about the offseason, stuff like that. One of our producers is a diehard Avs fan. It's been a little dicey, but so let's start there because that's obviously the storyline, and maybe it's the President's Trophy Cup jinx. I don't know, but that had been snapped. It hadn't been as much of a thing, but I mean, better Vegas or not as good of Avs? We got to give Vegas some love here.
We have to. I think it's a little bit of both. It usually is, but we have to give Vegas their props. They did not have a good regular season. They were playing in the worst division, the Pacific. Connor McDavid, the best player in the game, at one point referred to the division as a pillow fight. And it didn't feel like a legitimate cup contender was going to come out of the Pacific. All the talk was around Colorado, Minnesota, Dallas. And then the way Colorado cruised through the regular season, best record in the whole league, cruised through the first 2 rounds, looked unbeatable, quite frankly. But then Vegas comes in, and I think has shocked the hockey world, the fact that they're up 3-0 already. I think a lot of people thought it would be a competitive series, and maybe the Golden Knights could squeak it out. But going up 3-0, no one saw this coming. Now that's in large part, I think, due to injury. Nathan McKinnon got banged up. The Avalanche's best forward in Game 3. The best defenseman, arguably in the whole world, Cale Makar, isn't at 100%. Missed games 1 and 2. But Vegas has been phenomenal. They've gotten better and better as the playoffs have gone along, and they're getting fantastic goaltending from Carter Hart. Their leading scorer, Mitch Marner, the leading scorer of the whole playoffs, had a reputation of not getting it done when it matters most, and he's elevated his game. They look for real.
What do you do in that? I mean, you get out to the 3-goal lead, first period. You think you're like, okay, here come the Avs.
Yeah.
And the onslaught happens in the final 2 periods. What do you expect to see behind the pipes?
Well, I think maybe they make a change and go to Mackenzie Blackwood for Game 4. But at this point, they're grasping at straws. It's been done before, the reverse sweep in hockey a handful of times. I know in the NBA, it's never been done.
Yep.
I mean, you get up 3-0. Last night, the Cavaliers just rolled over, basically. But in hockey, it has happened, right? The reverse sweep. It's very rare. And I think a team as experienced as Vegas, it's unlikely that they can't, get one more win over the next 4 tries to get it done. But if you're Jared Bednar, Colorado's coach, you're looking for anything to spark the group. So you probably make a goalie change, you go to Mackenzie Blackwood. But really, they just have to lock in and play better. Right now, I think they're demoralized. I think part of it's mental in addition to the physical toll that some of their best players are going through. But they have to, get over themselves and go win a hockey game. Falling apart after up 3-0 in the first period, that was very uncharacteristic for that team. They hadn't blown a lead like that all year. It was a stunner.
You will see them put up like a 7 or 8 spot before actually see them lose. Would you have rather blown the 22-point lead as the Cavs when you left them for dead? And after Game 1, my partner was like, "Yeah, the Cavs it's over," or a 3-goal lead after the explosive first period on the road, right? You got to be thinking we're in good shape. But one thing I will say, and Vegas can skate. I've got no qualms with that. But and it's the Stanley Cup Finals, so you want to stay on this half. You at least want to stay out. You want to stay out of the sin bin. But the lack of physicality in the neutral zone, like just the open ice skating, I think is the thing that I'm the most surprised about.
Yeah, I think teams that can maintain their speed this deep into the playoffs, have success. And I think you're playing every other night. Physicality ramps up. So if you can keep your legs going, it's such a weapon. I mean, we saw that last night in the Eastern Conference Final. The Carolina Hurricanes just skated Montreal out of their own building. And, being able to slow teams up. And usually that's the way hockey goes. You get a 2-goal lead or a 3-goal lead. You start to play safe. You start to clog the neutral zone. You take away the team's speed. And things just spiraled in Game 3 for Colorado. And the other thing, I was a little bit surprised the coach didn't call timeout. Like, you have to recognize when momentum has shifted that drastically to the other team and try to do something about it. And that didn't happen. So, their season's on the line tonight.
Luke, I want to talk about the Eastern Conference for a second here because Carolina, you got technically more competitive series. It's 2-1. But the Canadians have had a really hard time getting shots on goal, whether it's Saturday or Monday. They had the history earlier in the playoffs
they won a game in which they had no shots on goal
in the entire period, right? Even though, yet still, we're sitting here at 2-1, and the 2 wins were both in overtime. Like, is the series actually competitive? I can't figure out what this series is, if it's as competitive as the overtime wins and the 2-1 would lead you to believe, or if it's as unbalanced as the shot differentials would have you believe.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. And it's because the 2 teams play very different styles. The Hurricanes are known for just throwing everything at the net. They'll take a shot, even if it's not a grade A or high quality shot, just to create chaos, get pucks on net. That's kind of their MO. Like if you look at shot attempts, they almost every night, even through the regular season, they win that battle. And that's their style. Montreal is a bit more selective with their attack, but in this series, they're just not getting enough chances. So in the times they do get a look, like last night, Nick Suzuki had a clean breakaway in overtime, and he missed the net. When you don't generate that many chances and you only have a few, you better bury them. You know, they pinged a crossbar. There is a world because of those 2 overtimes where Montreal's up 3-0. But, you know, that's why we play best of 7, is because it should the better team over the course of that series should win. And right now the better team is winning. Carolina, you know, they did not show up in game 1. They had 11 days off, which is virtually unprecedented because they had swept their first 2 series and were just relaxing. And Montreal was in the rhythm. They took it to them in game 1, but games 2 and 3 have been all Carolina. And if it wasn't for fantastic goaltending and opportunistic scoring, Montreal wouldn't even be in this series.
So are you at this point heading into game 4 for the Habs? Are you concerned about the number of shifts in the ice time for their defensemen? I mean, Carrier, Dobson, you know, even Matheson, like 33 shifts. It's a ton of ice time. And I get how they want to play, but do you worry about the longer this series go, or are you just figuring, listen, at this stage in the conference finals, this is just what it takes?
Well, I am a little bit concerned, and I think we saw it in overtime. Lane Hudson, they're the most dynamic defenseman, gives the puck away. Yeah. That's how Svechnikov scored the OT winner. It was a bad giveaway by a fantastic defenseman and a guy who had a really great game and is having a playoffs that will be remembered as kind of his breakout. But that was a mistake. And why did that happen? Probably fatigue. Probably because the ice time for Montreal's, the top 4 is way up. Whereas Carolina, both on their blue line and their forward core, they're more balanced. That's, Coach Rob Brindamore hockey. He likes to roll lines. He likes to have all 6 defensemen, taking their share of the load. Now, what they lack is the high end of superstars that say Colorado has, that Montreal has, but their depth is fantastic. And they know what they are. They know that that's how they're going to do it. They're going to do it by committee. So you see every night is a different hero for Carolina, whereas Montreal kind of depends on their big guys to get it done. And, you get into round 3, you're banged up, you're tired, and you're all those overtimes, it adds up.
You get no points from Aho, isn't 80 points on the season, and it's like no big deal. Like when you're speaking to their depth.
Yeah, their second line has been fantastic with Stankoven. Ehlers stepped up in game 2, but it is surprising they are where they are with their top line being pretty quiet. Sebastian Aho has been quiet. Svechnikov, until he got one last night, I think he only had 1 goal all playoffs. And, you can look at that 2 ways. Hey, the top line's not getting it done, or what incredible depth that they don't even need that top line to succeed, to have success.
Let me ask you about Carolina's been good for a while. The front office, they've managed the cap. No real drop-offs with their consistency. Is there something that you think they do as a franchise? Now, I've seen Tampa Bay and manage it and kind of go through cap hell. Is there something that you think Carolina does from a front office and their fiscally, their spending that keeps them as consistent as they are?
Yeah, it's really remarkable. They have one of the most forward-thinking GMs in Eric Tulsky. He's a big numbers guy. Think Moneyball comparable in baseball. He's done really good at finding guys at pretty low value. They don't have a bunch of guys making tons of money, right? Vegas has some of those guys. Colorado has some of those guys. But Carolina kind of spreads the wealth. They've kept the high end of the team payroll down. So new guys who come in try and fall in line a little bit. They've been really good for a team that kind of works on a budget. Like there's a couple teams that spend like crazy, like the Rangers, the Kings, the Maple Leafs. Some of these teams, the Bruins, are willing to open up the coffers and just spend as much as possible. But Carolina's kind of worked within a bit of a smaller budget on and off the ice, and their consistency is remarkable. Like, they keep making deep playoff runs ever since their coach Rod Brindamore joined the team. They've made the playoffs every single year, and that's rare in hockey because usually it's cyclical in a salary cap world where eventually you have your window, and then you're not getting the draft picks to maintain a high level of play. So they've been one of the most consistent teams, but they haven't broken through in so long to get to the Stanley Cup final. And now they must be able to taste it. They must feel like Montreal's beatable here.
North of the border, the expectations in hockey, well documented. The lack of success, well documented.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Vancouver or Winnipeg, but when you talk about star power and you look at Edmonton and you look at Toronto, storied franchises, who would you rather be in the off season if you're going to try to get this right and manage the expectation level?
Edmonton. They have the best player in the world in Connor McDavid. They have arguably a top 3, maybe top 5 player in Leon Draisaitl, and those guys are still under contract for 2 more years. You have one of the most dangerous game-breaking defensemen in Evan Bouchard. So the high-end talent is hard to get, and you have 3 elite pieces. Their problem is they haven't built around them properly. They haven't seriously addressed a big issue in their net for a couple years running now. And they haven't found like the support players. Like we were talking about Carolina's depth. Edmonton hasn't had that. So I'd rather be in that position than the Maple Leafs. They got some luck and they won the draft lottery, but
Matthews, they get the first round pick.
Yeah.
Toronto, Matt Sundin comes home. Like it can't be fun to be the Leafs either.
No, and well, they're coming off their most disappointing season, I'd say, in their whole history, a 30-point drop-off. They came into this season thinking they were a cup contender, and then they ended up being a lottery team. Great on them for getting some lottery luck. So that has kind of reinvigorated a little bit of hope in the fan base. But if you look at their roster, they have a lot of holes. Their blue line needs work. They need a center. They need a winger. The Mitch Marner loss still lingers in Toronto.
If these series leads hold, Carolina and Vegas, what kind of Stanley Cup Finals are we looking at?
Fast and mature. I think these are both veteran teams. Lots of guys. You got on the Vegas side, most of that room already has a cup ring, and on the Carolina side, I think only the captain Jordan Staal has one way back when he was a Penguin. But some of the other guys have been in multiple playoff rounds. So they've been preparing for this. Montreal is the youngest team left standing. So, you're looking at 2 veteran teams. I think it would be pretty disciplined series. I think it would be fast. And, the way both goalies are playing, Freddie Anderson and Carter Hart, I think goals would be hard to come by. I think it would be a fantastic matchup.
There's a lot of great players in other sports that have been overshadowed by dominance in an era, right, where we kind of forget about the other guys. I always think about guys like Charles Barkley or Duncan that played in eras of like legit superstars. I'll get you out on this, Luke, and I'm a Pens fan, so I know the way that I would answer. But knowing what you know, if you were starting tomorrow, would you take Crosby or Ovechkin?
At their age right now, or when they were?
No, like you've looked at the results. You've seen what they've done in their career.
Oh, Crosby.
So it's his era, right?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Ovi's the highest goal scorer in the history of the league, but Crosby's more well-rounded. He's a centerman, and he's a winner and a leader. Yeah, I would take Crosby.
Okay. I feel better. Because sometimes I get accused, whether it's being a homer, I'm just like, even knowing what I know, I still, it's his era.
Yeah. And he's still going. He just did an interview where he said he wants to play like 4 or 5 more years. And he's been a point a game for 21 straight seasons. It's just the consistency.
He wants to, right?
He can. He can, and he still loves it. So your Penguins got eliminated. He just got on a plane and went over to Switzerland to play for Team Canada. He just loves the sport. He doesn't have to do that. Yeah. They don't even get paid to do that.
That's Luke Fox from Sportsnet. Luke, great stuff. We appreciate the time, and hopefully we'll talk again soon.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, guys. Enjoy the game tonight.
You got it.
That is Luke Fox from Sportsnet.
Well-rounded, too.
NHL.
Chomping at the bit to talk NBA.
Yeah,
almost took the bait.
And by the way, I'm not.
That's a great find, Shane.
Yeah, Luke's awesome. I'm not too concerned about the Avs, by the way. Season's already over. But it would be nice. It would be nice to steal away a win to avoid the sweep to end on.
You're not worried about the season. It's over. Like
it's already.
You just punted, right? Like
it's already. I mean, they punted it. They punted it once the Golden Knights scored the second goal. I mean, you could just tell like the whole. I mean, it was a gut punch of a game.
It's one of the best teams in the regular season in terms of.
They're not going to come. They're not going to come back from 3-0. They have done it once in their franchise histories, but that was before they were in Colorado. So, I mean, it's been a minute.
These guys, they're 55-16.
Yeah, not good.
The deepest team in hockey.
Yeah,
you're not worried.
No, like I said, the season's already over.
This Ray guy just punting that thing, huh?
But it would be nice to avoid the sweep, though. They're not coming back from 3-0. There's
so
no
why would
way
you, if you punted on it, why prolong the inevitable?
There's no way they're coming back from 3-0.
He just doesn't want to get swept.
I hear a lot of reverse psychology.
He just doesn't want to get swept. He's just hedging his feelings. That's all he's doing.
You know who's tickled is Sadie because he's been honking for the Golden Knights forever.
Yeah,
he's like, why is nobody talking about Vegas? And I was like, well, they weren't good.
Yeah,
like
our guy Gorman's a big Vegas Knights fan.
Oh, I've seen him with the gear.
Yeah,
and that's not great either.
You had one team. I mean. In that division, you had a 43-game winner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not great either.
I mean, okay.
And
it was Anaheim, I think. Yeah, it was Anaheim.
It's funny when you ask the question of Luke about Crosby versus Ovechkin because it's kind of I was sort of doing it tongue-in-cheek with the Trae Young thing last night on text.
Yeah.
But it is kind of funny when, like, I think unanimously most people would take Crosby, right? Like, that's
you'd think.
But it is funny to say that it's that dramatic when the other guy is the all-time leading goal scorer in NHL
He
history.
is a prolific scorer.
Right? Like the analogy I used last night with the NBA was
Ovi's consistency is pretty sick.
Yeah.
And he got a cup.
Yeah. Just the one.
I just wanted to make sure it's clear. Like, I know what I think.
Might be a little Aaron Rodgers-y there.
Ooh.
Not personality-wise, but in terms of prolificness versus productivity. In terms of team success,
did I send you the all-time overrated quarterback list?
I don't think so.
So I fought this guy that does rank it, and I think he did a top 5, and I think Rodgers was maybe 2 or 3.
Rodgers' numbers are so much better than everyone else's in terms of like touchdown interception ratio.
He's not overrated.
He's not. I really struggle with him because he definitely should have won more.
He's going to be one of those guys that, when I talk about getting overshadowed by an era.
Yeah.
He's one of them. For as good as he is.
Well, that's why I brought him up with Ovechkin. Like, statistically and for what we've seen him do, would be the best quarterback in a lot of different eras, right?
Yeah.
But is going to be overshadowed by guys that just won at a much higher level than he did.
For a guy that has as many rings as Tim Duncan has.
Yeah.
Anybody talk about him being the best player of his era? He's top 5 at his position, maybe ever.
I mean, 5 is low. Like, I don't know. You're not finding 3 guys better than Duncan at power forward.
I mean, safe.
Yes, safe as a kitten there. Like,
so it's like, but it's never his era.
I think he's closer to being top 15.
Is that it? That's not hyperbole, right? Anybody talk about?
No.
Okay.
Because he gets overlapped on the front end by Shaq and Kobe. He gets overlapped on the back end by LeBron.
Yeah.
But he is. Tim Duncan is maybe one of the most Tim Duncan's like the opposite of Ovi, though, I think, and definitely the opposite of Rodgers
because of how he because of the championships.
Because the statistical output doesn't match his impact on winning, right?
That's a fair point.
In the other sense, right? Like if Duncan had wanted to go out and score 30 every night, I have zero qualms that he could have been.
Yeah.
He was one of the best defensive players in the league for at least 10 years. And that's a dude that impacted winning at a super high level. But you're going to look at his stats. This is why the voting things matter to me. The all NBAs, the MVPs.
You guys realize Tim Duncan isn't a career 20-10 guy.
Yeah, he's just under 19.
He's 19 and
just
10-ish.
over 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
That's fascinating.
Yeah, that he's one of those guys. This is why the voting and the narratives matter to me. Because at some point, somebody's going to look back at these stats and think Karl Malone was a better basketball player than Tim Duncan, and that's simply not true.
Yeah.
People are going to look back and think that, I don't know, pick some power, pick anybody. I mean, even Dirk. I love Dirk. People are going to look back and think
Dirk gets overshadowed.
But people are going to look back statistically and be like, oh, was Dirk better than Tim? No. No one ever thought that. And I love Dirk. And no one ever would have thought.
I don't know.
What?
So tomorrow.
Dirk has the best playoff run ever.
So tomorrow.
Okay.
You get Duncan or Dirk.
Duncan.
You're emphatically just.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Duncan is better than Dirk. And I am a Dirk homer. I love the way he played. I love his game. And he might have the single best playoff run of all time.
Yeah.
2011 Mavs might be the people he went through.
Yeah.
Might be the single best playoff run of all time.
Yeah,
and I love Dirk. And I don't think it's close that you take Tim Duncan over him. Like if those two guys are in the same draft, it is clear 1, clear 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so like Duncan is a whole other weird variety of guy that impacts winning at such a higher level than his statistics will ever tell you. Right? He's a bizarre case, but you will never convince me that he's not one of the top 20 basketball players of all time.
JJ Barea, Caron Butler, Tyson Chandler.
I mean, like 38-year-old Jason Kidd,
Sean Marion,
like 35-year-old Jason Terry.
I don't know, man.
It's the best playoff run we've ever seen. I full stop. Like I don't have any qualms about that. But I'm taking Duncan's career.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm taking it, and like I don't think it's that close. Duncan is now. If you want to have a real fun conversation and say switch places in terms of franchises, then we're having a different conversation. You put Dirk in San Antonio, all bets are off.
Yeah.
But from what I know, I have to take Duncan over Dirk. I don't think it's that close.
I'm not. I wouldn't fight you over. It's very, very emphatic.
I love Dirk too.
And it's
one of my favorites.
It's just weird for as good as TD was, it will never be his era.
It will never be his era, and he'll never get the credit that he should. But part of that's how he played.
Yeah.
Like part of that is he was a boring basketball player. Just unbelievably good at impacting winning in a way we don't see very often.
A lot of rings.
It seemed like he played. He's 19. Did you get to 20 years?
I think he was right at 20.
He's for sure a 19-year career.
Yeah. I think he was 97 to 17. I think he was right at 20. But and he played 4 years of college too. He was old.
He's old, yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't cool.
No, he didn't get that one and done stuff. He was like, hey, we're doing all 4 years at Wake Forest, baby.
Freaking Damon Deke. They got in the tournament. Baseball, nobody said anything about them.
Well, we're too busy focused on Kentucky.
I think they were the 1-2 of the last. Like,
did I see that right?
The last, and then the field. Those two.
Only 2 series wins in the entire conference.
Kentucky.
Yeah, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And on the season.
Yeah, you shouldn't get to be in. Sorry.
2010 straight series.
You shouldn't get to be in. We're not going to make as big a deal about it because it's not basketball or football, but like you shouldn't get to be in.
Watch them go on a heater.
I don't care. It doesn't matter.
I don't care.
I didn't kill my wife. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't care if they go on a heater or not. They don't deserve to be there.
The amount of times you say I don't care, like we probably ought to add that to the repertoire.
I do love that drop. I wish I
don't care.
That's true. I mean, there's just a lot of things I don't
like.
I'll move the needle.
Yeah, I don't care.
That's the best part of that movie.
Oh no!
Oh yeah!
No, a one arm killer throughout the movie is the best part. Like, dude was pretty efficient to have one arm. He had a prosthetic.
That wasn't even the plot. It was more the plot was the
to have a prosthetic
was catching the bad guy
killer for hire was sensational. Why are you laughing at that?
Just you being obsessed with the efficiency of the killer is just so on brand.
I mean, I'm just saying.
It's not even about him. It's literally called The Fugitive.
I hate how you made that sound. That didn't sound good.
Wow, we actually agree on something.
I see. Look at that.
Jeez Louise.
You know, so the Heath brings up the best Tim Duncan stat. 19 straight years at 50+ wins.
He's a Spurs honk, too. Isn't
That's this 19 straight years at 50+ wins is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's incredible.
Nobody has been a floor raiser like that in their entire career ever. That's nuts.
When guys like Ginobili and Parker are like kind of afterthoughts, like Manu was sensational.
Manu was really good. Manu was really good.
Remember when I used to try to call him Ginobili?
That's how he was. You ever listen to how he got drafted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Ginobili.
Stern was struggling. Manuel Ginobili out of Argentina.
Yeah. And I would say that, and people are like, you don't know how to say his name. And I was like, it's a bit. Relax. Just because I'm not saying Tim Duncan.
Timothy.
Nope.
Nope. Nope.
Push my chair.
Nope. Nope. All right, that's the show for today. Make sure
I wasn't gonna go into character.
Don't do that. Make sure you give our friends over at Next Gen Mail Medical a call, 402-614-9700. They've got you covered no matter what you got going on. However you need to feel your best, they can help you out. And through the end of this month, so you just got about another week here. If you tell them that DB and I sent you, you will get a free consultation. It's a totally risk-free move to get you feeling your best. It's Next Gen Mail Medical, 402-614-9700. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla. We'll be back tomorrow on Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's time for Stars, Stripes, and Savings at Edwards Chevrolet. Save $12,000 off MSRP on the 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 RST, a truck deal worth celebrating. 2 Chevys, 2 ways to save, this May only. We've also got the 2026 Chevrolet Trax 1RS starting at $299 a month. Don't wait. Get in on Stars, Stripes, and Savings this May at Edwards Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.